I'm in the money.
I'm
Show
in the
me the
money.
money. I did not get or what's his name? I didn't get Gabe's thing cut yet.
Next
Being in
week.
Chicago, I didn't have time. So we'll have it for next week where we can get that going. But either way, you know what it is. It's Tuesday. So that means it's not Taco Tuesday. It's Show Me the Money Club, a live show with Sergio, myself, here on the Rideshare Guy. And also you can listen on YouTube or watch on YouTube. You can also listen on all major podcasting platforms. Just search Show Me the Money Club and our pretty mugs will pop up and you'll see us. So yeah, we have a very great show for you coming up today. But before we get into the rundown of what's coming, Sergio, how you doing?
I'm doing great-ish because I think I'm coming down with another cold. I think that's my third for the season. Thanks to my
dear God.
thanks to my little guy right here. Right here, here's my little guy. Shout out to SoCal Pride, more silverware, champions of the Legends FC tournament. The boys are killing it this year. We're going places this year. So anyway,
Nice.
shout out to my little guy who got me
Congrats to them.
again. But anyway,
Well, congrats
I'm doing
to
great.
them for
If I
winning.
fall, huh?
I said congrats to them for winning. So special shout out to them.
Bro, I'm telling you, they have such a good team this year. We played the LAFC Academy this weekend. This is the Academy, top of the top of the top. They tied 1-1. They were all pissed that they couldn't roll. So I'm like, and it's all good. But anyway, long story short, I'm doing fine. I know you went to Chicago. You didn't bring any deep dish pizza back. You know,
No,
I thought maybe you send me some from Chicago. I mean, come on, man.
well, I'm
like
still
Harry,
waiting.
man.
I'm still waiting for the booze from Harry for 52.
Oh,
so
that may be the second anniversary. The second anniversary.
Oh man. All right. Well, either way, yeah, I was in Chicago. I met with 4 drivers. We're going to be talking about that. Pretty interesting stuff that came around when we did our driver comparisons. So we're going to be talking about that and showing that, not in this episode, but hopefully next week. Still got to wait for a couple of videos to come my way, as well as be able to sync them up. So we will be talking about them more so for next week. But we're going to answer a couple of other questions, and we'll probably talk about that today, including the title for today. And this is why Uber is definitely beating Lyft when it comes to it. I mean, we all know Uber's beating Lyft, but what I saw in Chicago, one of the largest cities in the US, when it comes to the distinction between Uber and Lyft, is absolutely bonkers. And Lyft, if you're watching this, send that part, what we're going to be talking about, to your new CEO, David Risher, because y'all need to see exactly what I'm going to be talking about there. But beyond that, we're going to be talking about the Lyft and DoorDash earnings. We're also going to be talking about our drivers being cheated out of hundreds of millions of dollars. Some people could be, but the whole thing that I'm going to say, and I'll say it again, is always read the fine print and take screenshots. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. We are going to be talking about the failed and defeated, unfortunate Colorado transparency bill. So that's a very unfortunate thing. The next thing we're going to be talking about too is Lyft going in the right direction while Uber's going the wrong way? Well, there's a couple of things that Uber is probably not doing right, and we're going to be calling them out, as well as some things that Lyft is doing right that we're going to call out as well too. So that's that. The new Uber Quest model, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to kind of deep dive a little bit more into it, see the good or bad when it comes to drivers, and if you haven't in your market yet. Joe just did a video on that on Saturday. So if you haven't checked that video out after the live stream, make sure you check that out. Also, we're going to be talking about, are some Uber scams inside jobs? Well, maybe. We'll talk about that. And then also some big news in the AI front. Everything's AI, artificial intelligence. Uber just submitted a patent to the US Patent Office for the AI algorithms to match riders and drivers. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see, because it's going to be different apparently than what they're currently doing. So I don't know, but hopefully it'll make better informed decisions for matching drivers and riders and kind of take the bad code out of it. But I don't know, we'll see. And then we're going to also end the show with some global news, some fake names that are still going on Uber. We should be taking care of that.
Too. I'm going to put 2 every week. Until they quit. I'm going to put up 2 every week until they quit.
Good. And then some funnies that we'll end the show on. So yeah, we've got a pretty interesting show. But first off, what we want to say is it is May. You know what that means. If you go above and beyond during your rides, show me the extra mile Sunshine Award could be yours. All you got to do is submit your above and beyond story to Sergio at sergio@therideshareguy.com. We are going to pass those stories on to our Sunshine Man, hence the Sunshine Award. He is going to then see who's got the best story, who went above and beyond on the different stories, and you could win your chance at $100 for doing the right thing and being an awesome human being. So make sure you get your great stories sent over to Sergio, because we are in May now, and we want to get May. We want to get some people in for the May timeframe.
Yeah. Okay. People, drivers, friends, my comrades, sisters, brothers, I'm begging. Okay, today is the 9th. I don't beg. I'm begging. I don't have one story for May. Okay.
Oh,
Now,
what the heck, people?
tomorrow, tomorrow I'm interviewing John Heflin, who is the winner of the second Sunshine Award. We talked about it last week. Amazing story. Okay. Please email me your stories. I am sure you do some good out of 120 rides a week you're doing. Just send it to me, please, so we can have some candidates, because we don't want to go back into the old files and pick a winner, forced to pick a winner from the last, candidates. We want fresh. So please, today's the 9th. You guys have 21 days, 20, whatever the 30, what is it now? 21 days. Yeah. 22 days. Yep. Please. We need material. Thank you so much. I'm sure somebody will get on their butt and do it. Yeah. Sunshine Man. Are you here, Sunshine Man? Probably not.
I don't think he is yet, but he'll probably be in a little bit. Either way, though, it's definitely something that we like to highlight, those people who do go above and beyond, especially in a world where it's very negative. There's a lot of don't even think about that, or a cancel a ride type thing, which is fine. Oh, there's Jeff. Welcome, Jeff. But either way, yeah, it's just something to highlight some of those things. So again, make sure you get your stories over to Sergio at sergio@therideshareguy.com. Send screenshots as well, or dash cam footage if you can, just kind of further help your story and what had happened, and all that good stuff. So with that being said, we said dash camera.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at William. William is on point from Cleveland. He goes, David Risher responded to your tweet, Sergio. Yes, he did, but I didn't put it up. I'm writing an article. I'm going to put it there. We had a wonderful Twitter conversation with Mr. Risher. He actually went against what Harry said. Harry goes like,
oh boy.
And then David Risher goes, well, we're considering, Serge. I'm like, thumbs up, sir. Thumbs up, sir. Much love. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, we always want to invite David Risher onto the show and maybe have a conversation, a little back and forth of what's going on, some things to expect, try to get some questions answered, things like that. So yeah, if you're watching or whatnot, we always invite you on the show and can come and talk. But either way, when we talked about, I just said dash camera. One of the cool things is we talk about Display Ride because it's a good dash camera to have, especially since it uploads to the cloud immediately. And so if something happens, if somebody tries grabbing the dash camera, throwing it out, whatever it is, breaking it, you know what, it honestly doesn't matter, because they're already caught on camera. It's already in the cloud, and you can get your footage if you need it. So we always want to recommend dash cameras. We always like Display Ride, and Display Ride for you watching is going to get another special deal. They had this going to mid-April, but because the SMTMC show is awesome and all you guys are really awesome, they wanted to extend it for another month. So it's going into what was it, May 15th, I think he said.
Yeah.
So if you want 25% off, you can go, link is going to be in the description. Enter RSG20, so you'll be paying $20 a month instead of $25, and that is a great deal right there. So you're saving 25% already on the bat, which is awesome. And again, this is going through mid-May. I don't think it's going to be extended after that, but who knows? It might. But don't put your safety at risk when it comes down to it. If you don't have a dash camera, definitely suggested to get that. And also the tax write-off on top of that, because it's an expense, and you're just keeping yourself safe. So that is definitely something to check out.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
I'm hearing myself again.
You're hearing yourself again.
Are you hearing me?
I don't know.
Hearing me?
I hear you, but I hear you one.
You hear me one?
I hear you too.
I will have to go through it that way. Okay. It's a long way to go, but at some point I'm gonna have to go back out. When you're doing by the way, we're giving away two $25 gift certificates. Can anybody in the chat hear me twice or once? Yeah, there is an echo, right? Yep. How about now? Did it go? I think it did.
Oh, I don't know. I don't hear you. I mean, I only hear one, so I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, I think it's gone. All right, great.
Oh, so okay, perfect.
All right, so what are we doing today? We're talking about.
We are going to be starting with the Lyft and DoorDash earnings that just happened this past week. Yeah, a very much different scenario than Uber's from last Monday or Tuesday or whatever day it was that we had talked about.
We did a deep dive on Ubers. There's nothing to dive into this other than the pool that has no water in it. So I'm like, okay. So look, this is not a knock, Mr. Risher. We still want you back. We're just talking the truth here, so don't get upset. I'm sure you're going to fix things.
Wait, hold on. Before, this is the last quarter, so this is before he even came to the table. As I said at the beginning in the intro, we're going to be talking about something that this is if Lyft wants to, break away from their ultimate demise, in my opinion, at the way this is and what I saw in Chicago. You need to watch this, and you kind of need to understand what's going on, because this is boots on the ground stuff that we're going to be talking about. And if you want your business to succeed and be a success, and you want to have a better earnings call next quarter and the quarter after that and the quarter after that and even year over year, then you're going to want to watch this. So hey, a little bit of criticism, a little bit of tough love, but at the end of the day, we want you to succeed, because we want to have at least two different options out there. So when I go online, I can either go on Uber or Lyft if I'm doing just rideshare.
Yeah. I mean, look, these are the two charts simultaneously taken last week when earnings came out. Uber is at 37.46 a share. It's literally doubled actually since the low at $20. Lyft went down another 20% to 8.53 now after the earnings came out. Look, it was a horrendous quarter. Last three quarters basically are horrendous. But let's write it off. Let's get it over with. Look, thank you, funny person 251. Yes, he's making some good moves, man. We talked to the guy last Thursday. Actually, it's off the record. I cannot say much about it. That's why it's off the record. They are showing some love, and this week I had more streaks. And they're getting rid of the switcheroo, which we talked about last week. Look, the guy's doing good things for the driver. The drivers need to give this guy a little bit of time. There's all the mess that the other two created over the last 10 years cannot be wiped out in a week or two. I know we, as drivers, we're a bunch that has no patience because we've been abused so long, but give the guy a little bit of time, okay? I'm not doing this to kiss ass, okay? I'm just telling you the way it is. It's a big company with a lot of billions flowing around, a lot of moving parts. It's not easy to get a hold of it, but he let go of 1,200 people, cutting costs. He's doing the right thing. So let's give this guy a little bit of time. I still think it's truly a David versus Goliath kind of a situation, and his name is David. It's kind of ironic against Uber. Uber is like firing on all cylinders. Lyft is not. So the company's market cap was set to decline by nearly 800 million, about to 3.3 billion. I mean, literally anybody can buy Lyft now except us. Now, look, to me, there's not much to say. This was another bad quarter. They keep losing money. I'm just going to read a paragraph and we're going to move on. There is not much to talk about. But on Wall Street, there's only one scoreboard. The scoreboard is your stock price. Okay. That scoreboard never lies. And if Lyft's scoreboard is true, which obviously it is, it's telling a different story than everybody else's. So, given how dynamic pricing is, Lyft's report highlights how little it controls the destiny of its own profit and loss statement. In the event Uber wanted to cause more damage, I agree with that. We've been saying that Uber has so many levers to pull to mess with Lyft's only horse in the game, which is rideshare. Uber can move the take rates on eats, on deliveries, now on anything, on trucking. They have so many levers they pull to make their numbers and just to kill Lyft. I mean, if they wanted to, they really could. Now, I'm just hoping, because there was a great article by my good friend Dave Lee this week in Bloomberg. He said, actually, we need Lyft, because he was like putting the scenario that Lyft goes away and Uber becomes a monopoly, which is actually, he said he made good points saying that Uber as a monopoly is a bad thing for drivers, bad thing for passengers, and it's going to get a lot of scrutiny from regulators being a monopoly. I agree with that article 100%, but you guys can go read it on your own. So, Mr. Vischer, I'm telling you, there are already good things happening. I have not spoken this highly of Lyft in the last. I've been a driver on your platform for 7 years. I have not spoken about positive things happening 2-3 weeks in a row ever. Okay, and it's happening. I mean, look, switcheroo is gone. There is a couple other things that I saw in my app that I absolutely love. Continuing with the area filter situation. I mean, look, you have good base, and I think I want to buy into your I want to do one thing and do it really well story, and I wish you all the best. But hopefully time will tell, and you can turn this thing around. And if you need to cut costs more, you need to cut more. You need to lay more people off. Hey, man, what I hear, Chris, is Twitter is down to 1,000 people from 8,000, and Twitter is running beautifully fine. So I'm going like, maybe Elon had a plan there. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh yeah, you trim that extra, and you slim down that company, and you get a little bit better in that aspect. And you're operating a little bit more leaner. You're operating a little bit more cleaner. Things can actually, you don't have all these competing mouths to feed and mouths to speak in that aspect either, because you have all these different people talking and having these different ideas and these different tests. And how many times do we see the Uber app break? There's so many different times you see so many different things, because it's all bad and old code that likes to pop up every once in a while. And there's some things that they probably may do on purpose, but they chalk it up as glitches. So, I mean, how many times do you see that? And Lyft, Lyft has not really given me too many problems when it came to the app itself. So if you got a couple of great coders and you get a couple of great people who can deal with all of the driver problems or passenger problems and things like that, you're going to have a little bit better of a opportunity there.
Yep. I agree. I mean, all kidding aside, the next thing this gentleman needs to tackle is support. Okay. And support has gone into the deep end of, the pool. Right there, Rodeo. Hey, Steve. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Yep. We give it back, Steve. Thank you. No. Here's the deal. If Lyft is just going to go and say, gloves off, we're going to compete, that means lower base rates. That means lower rates for drivers, lower incentives, right? Because they're trying to actually make some money. But I think, they need passengers back on the platform. Passengers were leaving because their pricing was really, really horrible last 2-3 quarters. And I noticed that in LA especially. But in top 20 cities, Uber was cheaper. Out of 18 out of 20 cities, Uber was cheaper. And that's how you get the passenger back, okay? I mean, this is not rocket science, man. It's a commodity. You pick up point E, drop off point B, and if so.
Well, one of the comments that we just had from Joe Driver in there was that Lyft lost its brand recognition, and it did. I mean, we talked about this a few weeks ago when we said Uber is the Kleenex of rideshare. So yeah, it's much more recognized as a brand when it comes to Uber. There's so many reasons why. And this is something where Lyft really needs to pay attention to and work on its brand, work on its image, getting the passengers back. You can have the drivers, absolutely. You start taking care of drivers, they're going to want to be online, they're going to want to go on the platform. That's not where the problem is. The problem is now the passenger side. And this is where on when I was with a few of drivers in Chicago this weekend doing our tests, yeah, it was interesting. We ran both the Uber test and we ran both a Lyft test. And let me tell you, when we turned the Uber app on, we had 4 phones. We had turned the Uber app on, ping request, ping, 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 ride, 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 trip radar, trip, all like crazy. Couple of crazy things we're going to be talking about that, just not in today's topic. But when it came to turning on Lyft, it was crickets. I mean, we did the test on Uber. It was about 20 minutes that we had the phones on and we were looking at all different rides coming in, seeing the prices and all that. Quite a bit to talk about there. Lyft turned them on. We were waiting for a little while. There was not a ping request that came in. There was a few. And we had the test running for like 45 minutes because we were waiting for rides to be able to compare them versus the 3 or 4 that came in within that time frame. So you could see the massive difference between the amount of rides that were coming in on Uber. And this is in Chicago, one of the largest cities in the country that uses rideshare as well too. And the vast majority was all on Uber, while you were getting a couple of rides coming in. And here's the best part. You get one ride coming in on one phone. That person obviously didn't accept it because we were running a test. It comes on the second phone, then it goes to the third phone. So that could mean there weren't that many drivers there, but also, they're all within the same realm. But the whole thing is, if I'm waiting 5 minutes on the platform for a ride to come in versus turning my app on 15 seconds after the server updates, and I'm starting at Trip Radar, and then 12 seconds after that, I'm getting a ping request for an actual ride. That's a stark difference on what drivers are going to go to. But that just shows you passengers are not turning the Lyft app on at all to be able to take rides. So you got to do something there in order to get them back. Otherwise, you're not going to have anything. You could be getting rid of the switcheroo. You could be doing, you could say, we are going to go back to the 80-20 split, and we are going to do upfront fares, but we're going to have a rate card. We're going to do all of this crazy stuff for the driver. Driver's going to love it. Don't get me wrong. And they're going to hope that they can get rides. But the thing is, there's no rides coming in because there's no passengers on the platform anymore. You should have, at least 30 to 40% market share when it comes to Chicago. If you don't, I mean, you're screwed. And this could be all over the country too. I mean, LA, I don't know how it is in LA, Buffalo, for every Uber ride I take.
Lyft is busy. Lyft is busy. Look, West Coast is Lyft's, stronghold, especially San Francisco, LA. They have their own loyal customers. But they're losing him. I mean, look, Uber is underpricing him. Uber is doing whatever they need to do, to get those customers. So Lyft's first job is going to be to get those customers back, gain some market share back. And I hope they do for the driver's sake as well. Look, there is, I'm not usually paying too much attention to the chat, but there's this guy that keeps leaving the same message on every video, and then he's here doing it again. He goes, we don't care about his name. It's like way back there. His name is Salim. And you are advertising for the criminal Zionist Lyft, right? Now, what does have anything to do with being a Zionist or this or that? I don't know. We don't want to block him, actually. Have him make himself a fool. But I go, sir, with all due respect, and then he goes, Lyft crimes against drivers is huge. And this weirdo Sergio said, patient, some more for David. You don't have to agree with whatever we're saying, but I don't think it has nothing to do with Zionist criminal organizations here. You know what I'm saying? But just to point that out. But long story short, Lyft is, hopefully this was the last bad quarter we see out of Lyft, and everybody gains. They get a little bit of market share back, and we'll see. Time will tell, man. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Either way, we gave it to 2024, whether they're going to be chopped up and sold or they're just gonna dissolve into once was. But
Right.
like I said, I don't want to see that because I'd rather have multiple options when it comes to different rideshare companies because you really only have two. Like those are the main two. You might have a couple of here and there that are in different areas and operational, whether it's small markets like cities or maybe state by state. But for the vast majority
Right.
of people, you pretty much have two, and that's
Yeah.
Uber and Lyft. You don't want just one because otherwise you're at the whim of that, especially if you're doing just rideshare. Um, if you're doing food delivery rideshare, if you're doing last mile and if you're doing everything, well, then that might not be too bad. But if you're doing just rideshare, that could be a potential issue there. So yeah, we
Thank
want to continue seeing
you.
Lyft.
Thank you, JE. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. If you have a
Yeah, I
question, put them
appreciate
up.
it.
Yeah, so that's that for Lyft. Hope that things turn out well for everybody's sake, because Uber definitely does need a competitor. DoorDash, on the other hand, they keep putting more orders in. I mean, I'm just gonna go. We're gonna leave most of this delivery, last mile delivery, to Kim and Zach for Money Hungry tomorrow. But I just put it up because I don't think they talk about the nuances of their earnings. Their orders grew 27 more percent, right? They squeezed 520 million orders into a quarter now. Last quarter was about 460 million. I mean, look, they're putting in more orders in. They're obviously, most of them are trash, door trash orders, $2, $3 orders. But look, they're doing something to get those picked up and delivered. Although their unit economics are so bad, they're still losing 46 cents 40 down to 46 cents now. The losses are per order. That's how horrible business, delivery, last mile delivery business is. And they ended up losing, $300 million or whatever. And I'm going like, if you guys can make money now, when, I mean, I don't know what scale do you need to grow? And DoorDash has close to 65% of the, delivery market in the US. And now they're growing globally by buying the other company called Walt. And I mean, look, everything is looking good on the top end, but where's the bottom line? Where's the money? Show me the money, Tony Zoo.
Mhm.
I mean, show me the money, Tony. you know, I mean, you can say all you want. I mean, it's like, yeah, top line, top line, top line. But I think I was actually very surprised, okay, that because my channel checks were completely opposite of what they said. My channel checks were that the average order value was going down, the frequency ordering was going down, right? They said no, the opposite. They're just going higher. They even guided higher, Chris. So obviously, the trend that started with the pandemic of people ordering food because they were stuck or ordering anything, they were stuck indoors, not only is continuing, but is accelerating. Now they're doing certain
Mhm.
things to do that. They have Dash Pass, which is like Uber One. And their stickiness of those customers is a lot more. Obviously, they're putting out a lot of incentives. Again, bottom line, they're losing money still. They lost 300 million bucks with all this fanfare. And does this prove that these businesses are horrible businesses? Not models. Models are good. The business is bad. Okay, because models are
Yep.
good enough to squeeze the driver and the customer on both ends, and they're still losing money. I'm like, show me the money, scoreboard. And stock went down after they said everything is great. Stock went down 6%. I'm like, okay, whatever. So
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, I don't get too much into the food delivery side of things on either front, whether it's a driver or a customer, but it's interesting to see how I would have said that they would have lost orders going out of the pandemic and people were able to get out and have fun. But I mean, now I got to revise that saying that, yeah, it's continuing on and it's accelerating. But the question is it new people that are actually ordering, or is it the same people who are just ordering more?
yeah,
Um, that is one thing that I'm starting to think it is that they haven't really tapped into new people. I mean, I get things on my phone all the time from both Uber Eats and DoorDash saying, "Oh, come back, come back. We'll give you 40% off the next 3 orders or whatever." I'm like, no, I'll go pick it up. That's
yeah,
me.
yeah,
I get out and I get to see people, so it doesn't matter. But either
yeah,
way, I think with so many people, what ended up happening with the pandemic, because of how long it lasted instead of 2 weeks, that's where it just kind of became instilled and retrained people to just use the app and 20, 30, 40 minutes goes by and there you got your food instead of having to go out or
Yeah.
make it or anything. And I think again, I think it's the same people that are ordering. It's just they're ordering more instead. And as you
Well,
said, you got
the
Dash
other
Pass, you
thing,
got Uber One, and you have these. So it's creating a repeat customer versus,
yeah.
maybe necessarily going into new markets where people who maybe did order at one point but don't order now, or they're not getting new people ordering.
Yeah, but you know what it is though, Chris? Even within the last mile delivery basket, right? There are different areas, different avenues, right? Now, they got into alcohol delivery, which they didn't have. Now they got into, supermarket and grocery delivery. So they call it different verticals, right? So what is happening is that if somebody gets into the system ordering alcohol, it's very high likelihood that they're going to stay in the system or in the universe of DoorDash and order food once in a while. Same thing is happening with Uber. When you do rideshare with Uber, you stay in that cocoon of, okay, now I can order Uber Eats as well. But maybe if I have Uber One, I get a discount on this and I get a discount on that, right? So there is some truth that they're creating these super platforms or super apps that whatever you need, I can get you, right? Because not everybody maybe is going to order food, but if you're feeling good and you're short of alcohol, you order a couple of bottles of something through DoorDash, right? So the app is always there for your whatever demands you have, right? And on the Uber
Yep.
end, it's not only all that, but rideshare as well, which is half their business. So, I mean, I think, again, though, it's not any of this, wonderful, great, super apps. You guys are building great, genius, whatever. But you're not making money because the business as a whole is a horrible business to be involved in because the margins are not there. The juicy margins are not
Yep.
there,
Yeah.
so, but look, man, I mean, whoever's picking up those $2-3 no tip orders, they did plenty of it because they went up 60 million more orders. I'm going like, God damn, who's picking this shit up, man?
You know what I saw the worst? This and anybody in chat, if you have seen worse or not, let me know. This was not too far down the street from me, and this was an order that was sent to an Uber Eats
Oh yeah, I
driver
saw
for
those. Yeah.
$1.52. That's
Who?
insane.
Why? Why?
I don't know. And they were going. The total would have been 1.5 miles for 12 minutes, and you're going to Panera, which is probably going to. I mean, Panera can be pretty good depending if it's busy or not. But yeah, $1.52. Why would you? Who would even accept something like that?
What is that? Like you start your car, you burn $1.52 worth of gas anyway. I'm like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, it's
Michelle.
crazy.
Michelle's a member, new member. Michelle, let me send you a hat because of that. So send me your address, please. Yeah. So anyway, everything is going well. Top line, bottom line, nothing. I think, I'll get pounded for this probably, but I think Uber is going to be the first one to be actually gap profitable, meaning actually making money, not EBITDA profitability. Because first of all, the other thing is the last mile delivery companies. There is great seasonality in this. Okay, when weather is cold, it's raining, it's very busy for delivery people because people don't go out as much. But summer comes, right? People are on vacations, schools are out, weather is good. Well, would you rather go out and eat beautiful Santa Monica at a restaurant, or would you order DoorDash from that restaurant to bring it to your house? No, you go out. So the seasonality is actually going to be a headwind against DoorDash and Uber Eats and Grubhub and whoever is doing this last mile delivery thing on the food side, because people go out more and eat out more and socialize more outdoors, taking advantage of the beautiful weather. So we'll see how the next couple of quarters show up, but that's probably expected anyway. But again, show me the money, man. Where's the money? Show me the money, Tony Zoo.
Yeah, for real. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But when it comes to Uber and Lyft,
you know what? I was going to ask you just freaking, we're on such a wavelength, bro. But I was like, I wish he had it. And then, boom, he has it right there. See,
I have that. Yeah. And for those who are listening, it's the tree comparison. If you see two trees, one is little wilted, not getting all the sun it needs because the big tree in front of it is blocking out a lot of the sun. This is exactly how Uber and Lyft is. It's pretty much the same. Uber is getting all the sun. It grew really big, and Lyft is struggling to try to get beyond it. Now, the only thing it could really do is knock down the Uber tree, but I think that thing's so damn strong that's going to be a hard feat to do. So, either way, yeah, an interesting little comparison between the two there.
I knew I was gonna send it to you, but then I go, maybe he'll put it up. So yeah, that goes to show people. That goes to show how we're like connected at the hip. He's in like East Coast, I'm West Coast, but we're thinking the same. So there you go. So anyway, so that's it, people. Should we give him some money now or later? When should we give him money? We get
we'll do that after this one. Let's talk about this first. And
right,
this
so,
is
yeah,
a pretty interesting thing. Now, first off, hold on. What I want to know is, people, have you
yes,
got one of those little messages where you were able to get your cash reward, and then the quarter ended, you got your cash reward, and then you got another notification saying, hey, if you requalify by the end of October for the Uber Pro, then you will be able to get more money for maybe a second round. How many people got that? Put it in chat right now. Let us know.
Please.
Let us know.
This is important. Like, I'm doing a huge investigation on this. You guys can help me out with this. This is very important. This is from a very close friend of the channel who's in Florida. I don't think he's here. So as we all know, Uber Pro issued this one time, and we know it said one time when they first issued it. It said one time that if you qualify from platinum to diamond, you will get this extra. It ranged actually from $350 to $600. I had a $600 one. This is the original screenshots that we showed, right? So diamond rewards coming 11/11. In fact, a lot of people qualified, and Uber only paid partial. And I had like 100 emails saying, Sergio, they only paid me partial. But there was a glitch, supposedly, and everybody got paid 2-3 days later. Everybody was made whole. The same gentleman who had the 475 had 475. Initially, they paid him, I think, 300, and then they paid him the 175. Okay. Now, William Damasio says, I got it. Okay, I need you to email me, Sergio at the right share. So whoever did not get this the second time around, because after that was over, we got this screenshot in our apps saying that, well, great, you made your, diamond, and if you requalify for diamond, meaning stay diamond another quarter, we'll send you the money again. It was clear as day, right? So there's the screenshot that's going to.
Yeah, but again, this is one thing where I always say read the fine print, no matter what. Always read the fine print, because if you look, this is the original one that we had posted back, I don't know, late October, early November, whatever it was. If you look at that, there's the one screenshot in the fine print. It says cash requalify for diamond status by October 31st, 2023, and get a cash reward. Then there's this little one right next to reward to denote that there is a note there, which means there's fine print. So they need to clarify more. So it says, to receive a cash reward, you must achieve or requalify for diamond status in one Uber Pro program period and maintain such status until the end of the program period by October 31st, 2023. We had some questions there. We figured it out. But then it says, reward will be given in a program period after diamond status is achieved. Now, this is where you need to continue reading the fine print, because there is more. It says one time only as Uber tests this new offering.
Yes.
So it says right there, one time only.
Yes.
And then it says last amount may vary. And that's where you were saying it was from 350 to 600. So again, this is something that it definitely threw everybody off, because everybody was like, oh, they must have changed that. But the thing is, that's what we said when this was starting to happen. And that was that take it with a grain of salt, because who knows if they're going to pay out this time around or not, if you've got it for a second time. And this is exactly what's happening right now. So
we in fact, I mean, you're right. We in fact did a video. We talked about it when it showed up in my app the second time, saying that, oh, if you requalify again, we'll give you another fucking $600. And I remember, and I actually went back and watched the video, Chris, saying that people, be careful. What you read is what you may not get. So, but sure enough, look, man, I'm sure a lot of drivers got the same screenshot, which I did, and it's on the screenshot that we're going to show you, saying that requalified again, get another 475 on May 1st. I mean, it's right there. Okay. Achieve like a pro, requalify for diamond, and this guy was already diamond. He didn't have to requalify. All he had to do was stay diamond. And it says get 475, which was the same 475 he got the first time. And it had to be done by May 1. It says clearly right there, So requalify for and maintain Uber Pro Diamond status this period to get 475 in cash, paid within a week of May 1. Well, this gentleman read this, I'm telling you, this, if I read this after qualifying the first time and taking my 475, first of all, what's the purpose of you sending me this? I already got my 475. I'm done. If it was one time, you shouldn't even be sending me this, because your system should know that I did it and I took your 475 and I'm done. This to me, after you send
this is another reason why you take screenshots too.
Yeah, and this gentleman did. This gentleman does, and then he does his. He stays diamond, right? And sure enough, he gets into it on May 1, May 2nd, and then it's in the letter. I can read it to you guys, but in order not to extend this too long, what happened is that he did not get paid on May 1. And he went back and forth saying that, look, this is the screenshot. You told me if I requalify or stay diamond, I'm going to get another 475. Because there was no asterisk in this, by the way. It was the way it is. And he didn't get 475. So then, if you can go back one page, Chris, because I'm not going to read that part. Yeah, right there. So this is his thing going to Uber support, by the way. In my 8 years and over 8,000 deliveries and trips with Uber, there are a few things I know about Uber. One, you're a predatory and exploitative company that counts on the ignorance and financial desperation of their drivers. Luckily, I'm not one of them. Two, you worship only one thing, the almighty dollar. Three, Uber never does the right thing. Knowing this allows me to still plan my business, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he's a businessman. We know that. His name is Jeff. One, in October 2022, I get my first offer 475 to maintain the diamond status from November 1 to January 31. I met the criteria and as was paid incorrectly at first, like I said, and that was a pleasant surprise. On February 2nd, 2023, I received the offer that is in the chain of this conversation, which we show the screenshots for, offering yet another 475. I maintained the diamond from February 1, 2023 to April 30, 2023. I accomplished that. 3, on May 1, I'm sending you my first request for my 475 on May 3rd. At 6:13 p.m., I asked again, and then we have the screenshots of the conversation. So this guy put it in chronological order, his requests of getting paid the second 475, right? And ultimately, Uber's came back to him and say, oh, you misunderstood. It was a mistake. That was only one time. But we'll give you $25 out of the goodness of our heart. And here's the email. His name is Jeff. Thank you, Ezra Nigasi. Much appreciated. My promotion or guarantees was wrong. Okay, yeah. He goes, hi, Jeffrey. This is Bob, one of the supervisors from Uber Support. Thanks for reaching out. And I'm sorry for the confusion. There is always some confusion on the driver's side. If there was no confusion on the Uber side, Uber, and you didn't send this guy the second time around, the in-app, and I have the same screenshot, by the way, that, you can requalify again, get another 475, because that's exactly what that looks like. Talk about bait and switch and carrot and stick bullshit that you guys pull. Well, this guy fell for it and did it, and now he's asking for his justifiable 475. Uber Pro Cash Award is a one-of-a-kind, not one time, one-of-a-kind loyalty incentive for drivers. Upon checking your account, I have noticed that you are able to receive the one-time Uber Pro Cash incentive reward. Yeah, then why the F did you send the guy the second time in the app saying that requalify and get 475 without an asterisk? But anyway, I think there's a huge problem here. You're unable to receive another reward once you have received your Uber Pro Cash reward. I understand this is important, so we're going to put, and then the guy says, take your 25. Jeff said, take your 25 and take it back out of my account, please. You can shove it up your, you know what. Now, how many people are in this situation, seeing the second screenshot, doing or staying diamond, keeping diamond, this screenshot right here in the middle, which I have on my app, and this is this gentleman's screenshot. It says, achieve like a pro. This is from February 2nd, after he finished the first reward period. Requalify for and maintain Uber Pro Diamond status. That period to get $475 in cash paid within a week of May 1. It even says, because the next Uber Pro period ends in April 30th, and you got within a week of May 1. If this does not say that you'll requalify again or stay diamond, we're going to pay you another $475, then I don't know any English. Now, I'm an immigrant. My English is not as good as the professor, probably. But from what I understand, my comprehension is decent. What do you see in this, Chris? Do you see this says that? Or what do you see? I mean, I'm asking your opinion.
I see money, and I want my money.
I see money too, yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's really what it comes down to. You see that, and you're going to expect, oh, I can get it again, requalify. But I mean, yeah, beyond that, it's like, what else would you expect?
Well, I know this thing. If look, there are 2.5 million Uber drivers in the country. I'm pretty sure half of them are diamond or better, just like the Sunshine Man is. Well, actually, Sunshine Man is not diamond, but that's not the point. Here's the deal: if a quarter of the 2.5 million drivers took this bait and stayed diamond and did more trips just to qualify for a diamond to get the extra $475, that's 500,000 drivers times $500 on average, let's say. That's $250 million. That's a lot of money. Where's the money? And you know what? I'm not going to call this, but I'm investigating this, and I need all the emails you guys can send me with the same screenshot that you were promised another $475 without a disclaimer if you stayed diamond and you did not get paid. If you did not get paid, please email me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com, because I'm working on this. 1. 2, FYI, this is right after the earnings report that came out. Now, Uber has very convoluted earnings report, and it shows, all the incentives are under sales and marketing expenses. I checked the last quarter. They were close to $200 million lower in sales and marketing. I'll bet you this quarter, if they did not pay 500 people the average $500, that's another $250 million. I'm not saying they're cooking the books, but we're going to look into this. Now, I need all the emails, all the proof that you guys received the same screenshot, and Uber came back to you with the same email saying that, oh, there was a misunderstanding. Sorry. We shouldn't have sent you that little screenshot saying that we promise you another $475 if you stay diamond. I need all the proof.
I'm pretty sure they should be eating that and paying out the drivers.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Going back to Ezra. Ezra had a comment on the super chat, which appreciate. Thank you for the super chat. But talking about informed that they will be giving 10 cents per ad if you keep the tablet mounted. If anybody else is getting that, let me know, or let me or Sergio know as well too. When it comes to the tablet, we all know that Uber and Lyft are looking into the ads side of things. So that is something that they're going to be doing as well too. They're going to be looking probably at tablets or in-app notifications when it comes to the phone, different things like that to try to put ads on. And then who knows, maybe they'll have their own radio stations that you have to play in order to drive, that'll go OTA, and they'll start playing music or something with their ads put into it. By the way, Uber and Lyft, if that happens, I want 25% commission off that, because that's my idea that I just said right now.
Oh, well, 10 cents, depending how many they push. If they push like 100, 10 cents.
Oh, yeah.
That? That's $10. I mean, it's not bad, we'll see. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting, because you know what? There's privacy laws there. It's my car, You're showing your ad in my car. Maybe I should have some negotiating power on what I should get on that. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah, well, we're giving you a tablet for free. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway,
Oh boy.
so yeah, please email me. This is an important subject. I work on packages and send them out. So please email me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com, if you did the diamond thing again and you did not get paid because of the misunderstanding, miscommunication, whatever you want to call it.
That's what they chalk it up to. But you know what? We want to help you with your issues when it comes down to maybe not getting that money. So for you watching right now, currently in the live, and if you're watching on the replay, you might want to tune in on the live, because it looks like we're getting some money to be able to hand out to everybody watching. We are going to be doing our next $25 giveaway. So I know it's not $425. It's the same $25 that driver got when it came to the Uber side of things. But we're going to give you some $25 right now. So enter hashtag money into the chat, into the live chat right now. We're going to let this up for a little while, just so you have your chance to do it. We got 165 people watching right now. Hit hashtag money. And in a couple of minutes, and after a couple of things that we're going to go through, we will see who our drawing winner is at the hashtag money in the chat.
Lowercase, please. Lowercase.
Yes.
Hashtag money, Josh, not Monday. Money.
It's not Monday. First off, it's Tuesday. No, you know what that is? That is, yeah, Tony, you definitely did.
Tony smelled the money. Tony smelled the money.
Monday was autocorrect. Let's know exactly what that is. That's going to be autocorrect. I'm going to assume.
Chris, let's see. I'm not going to say propaganda, but okay, we have to start working on this now. Last year Pedro did the gig conference in St. Louis.
Yep.
Okay. Guess where the gig conference is this year?
Do not tell me LA, because
no, it's not LA. But it's pretty.
Make it in
Denver.
Make it in
Denver.
Oh.
Tony, Steve, they're all there. So Harry, I'm looking at the camera. I usually don't, but I'm looking at the camera, Harry. Me and Chris, we need to be in Denver for a gig conference 2023 and do a live stream from there in person, Harry. So you know.
When is it? What's the date?
August something. August 4th?
August something. Oh, you're killing me there, Pedro, because I'm going to be on vacation. That's my week. I told him, don't make it that week again, because that's what happened last time.
That was last year. It was the same thing. Come on, man.
Yeah, well, that's because I take the same week every year as my vacation. So you got to make it like a week earlier.
I'm coming this year. I don't give a shit if Harry buys my ticket, gets my hotel, but I'm coming. So you guys know. But Harry, okay, you know what, Harry? We'll do an exchange. Screw the whiskey. We're going to.
I didn't say that. I want the whiskey.
Well, because you're not going to the conference. That's why.
Exactly. I could take the whiskey. I can watch the conference from my phone while I'm driving to my destination.
Okay, I'm coming to the conference, so you guys know. All right, there we go.
Well, it would have been awesome to go, but
wait a minute. Do you really take your vacations the same time every year?
Yeah, it's called a timeshare, bro.
Oh shit! Okay.
You get the same week every year, so that's why.
I didn't know. So I'm going like, you can move it around, but now that you said it's timeshare, okay. Well,
Route 66. We talk about driver safety all of the time. There's many videos we've already talked about when it comes to that. So if you want to check out safety and share share those videos with other drivers, by all means, we definitely talk about safety. It's one of our core things that we do talk about on the channel as a whole. So yes, we do have that talked about.
I'm coming.
If there's anything specific more that you want to know, then yes, Tony, I definitely. Actually, Tony, I gotta email you, call you or text you soon. I got your number, so I'm going to, because we're getting right around that time frame now. So I'll definitely be calling you about the homeschool stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, Randy. We talked about Randy. We put out Randy's the GoFundMe page. Actually, we're good. I talked to Abdul, the display ride sponsor of ours. I think we need to. I think you had that brilliant idea. I think we need to keep working on that
The
idea.
body
I think we
cams.
need body cam. Yeah, body cam for delivery
Yeah.
drivers. Something smaller.
Hey.
Doesn't have to be this super duper. Something smaller, cheap,
Okay.
like $5 a month. Put it on your chest when you're doing deliveries, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah, and it's going to be better. And here's the whole thing. So the display ride goes up to the cloud. Yes, you could buy a GoPro. You could buy a used GoPro for 40, $50, and you could have a body camera essentially.
That's
All you gotta do is get a
bullshit.
little clip that costs $10 and you got a little body camera. But here's the thing. The issue with that is it doesn't have anything that's gonna let you track yourself. So it won't have GPS and it won't have up to the cloud, up to the moment uploading. So that's something. Yeah, I mentioned that to Abdul in an email, and I said, "Hey, have you thought?" And this was right after the whole thing that happened in Florida with that driver who got unfortunately killed. But yeah, so I had mentioned that to him. I said, "Hey, have you thought about doing body cameras for last mile and food delivery drivers, especially in the wake of what had happened?" And it would be really great to be able to have that where you can have it go right to the cloud, and you have the GPS coordinates on there as well too. So then that way you're able to know real time and everything is up to the cloud immediately. And then if there's any issues or anything like that, you have a very good idea of what's happening and things like that. So yeah, that's something hopefully that will be coming. Abdul, if you're watching, let us know. And for those who are watching in the chat, if you are doing food delivery and you would be interested in a body camera, put in hashtag body camera. You're not going to win $25 for that. It's hashtag money. So make sure you also put in hashtag money on a separate line. But if you want a body camera or be interested in it, let us know, because we'd be interested to see if people would. So make sure you put in hashtag body camera in that event.
Yeah, I mean, because
let Abdul know.
The assaults used to be just on rideshare. Now there's actually almost as many assaults on the delivery people as it is rideshare, to be honest with you. So I'm like, I think it's a great idea.
Oh, look at that. We already got a few. Gig Wars, Nathaniel.
No, the Tony, for you, it'll be a beard camera, Tony. There you go.
Yo, what are you talking about? He could definitely have it where it's like right
Camera
in there,
beard,
just poking out a little bit. You're gonna get a couple of straggles on there, but you could hide it right there. Nobody would know. But yeah, that would be that's something we're gonna, if there's interest, we'll definitely send that information to Abdul and see if that's something they could be able to look at as well. Because yeah, unfortunately, as you just said, Sergio, there are so many issues and problems that are happening when it comes to
let me tell you something.
Delivery safety now.
I'll tell you one thing. In a rideshare, you're in your car, right? You can punch it, you can get away from it, you can do whatever, right? On rideshare, I mean, on delivery, you're out of the car. You're walking to somebody's house. I mean, you have zero protection on you. Seriously. Like, if somebody has a bad idea, they can do whatever the heck they want with you, like they did with this guy in Florida, the poor guy, right? So you're out of your protection zone, out of the car when you're delivering. I mean, not at the restaurant, but at the guy's house delivering, or what it says, the blue thing, and says meet at the door. I mean, you're at their mercy. I'm like, whatever happens, happens. So to me, at least, I think we have something here. I think we need to work on this. I think it's cool. Look at this, all body camera. And Salim, the Zionist, wants the $25. Should we get him out of the $25 thing? The Salim guy who says it's a Zionist community,
Hey, it's open to everybody. We can't. We're not going to discriminate against anybody for anything like that. I know, but hey, thank you for putting hashtag body camera. Even if those who are watching in the show, just in general, after the live stream, if you want to comment that, then let us know. But that is
the other thing, Chris. We run the snippets after the live stream, right? There are a lot of people who are new to the channel. They put, hashtag money, hashtag SMTMC. Okay, the money is only for the live stream. So if you're watching this during, in the after replay or whatever, don't put money because it's done. It's only during your live stream. So I just don't want
you can put hashtag money. You're just not going to win anything.
You're just not going to win.
Hashtag know your worth. Exactly. But yeah, that's the thing. The giveaway when we're doing them like this is specifically for live, during the live only. It's only open for that time frame. So if you're watching the replay, make sure you hit the notification bell and just know that we stream Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, so you can't miss it. We are doing it, and we actually know that we're going to be doing it for the next couple of weeks. Hint, hint, everybody out there, just so you know. So, yeah.
What are we doing?
With that being said, what?
We're giving money in the next 2 weeks? Is that what I'm saying?
The next couple of weeks, I know we're giving away some gift cards or some money, like what we're doing now with doing the hashtag down here.
Only 2 more
money in it.
weeks? Well, what's up?
I know. No. I know that we're doing it for a few more weeks.
No, we're going
Beyond that, I'm not sure yet.
We're going
So-
to do it. Anyway, but all right, let's go. So should we give him the money now?
No, we're gonna do a couple more things. We have
Okay.
actually we have 52 people who have entered. So just do hashtag money. We have 180 people watching.
Free money,
Hit
man.
hashtag money in the chat for the live chat only again, and you could potentially win some money. So we're gonna do that in just a few minutes. First, we're gonna be talking about this Colorado bill that was
Hashtag
unfortunately
Sergio.
struck
Tell him you're kissing my
down.
ass now. I'm not going to do it. All right, this broke my heart. I'm telling you this. Okay, I'm not a politician. I'm not into politics. Okay. I'm trying to actually hold myself back here, but it's not going to work. Okay, Mr. Kyle Malika and Mr. Kevin Priola, the two sellout Democrats who wouldn't even let this bill get to a vote, a bill that's as clean as possible, a bill sponsor who I personally interviewed on the channel, it's in the videos, go check it out, by freshman representative Stephanie V. Hill. A bill that was 100% for transparency and anti-deactivation rights for driver, meaning you could go into in front of a free group of people and make your case, because as we know, we can get deactivated by somebody saying we're racist, by somebody saying we're under the influence, by somebody wanting their $10 back because they're having a bad day, because of this, because of that. So the AI system will automatically deactivate you. Look, in this country, gig companies, listen, in this country, I mean, I'm an immigrant. I love this law because in my country, this didn't exist. Here's the deal. We are innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around. The apps work. We're guilty until we can prove ourselves innocent. Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And these two Democrats, it's a Democratic bill brought by a freshman Democratic House Republican. And these two sellouts, which I invited them on the show, and I'm still our open invitation, the two sirs, Mr. Malika and Mr. Priola, you come on and explain me and the viewers and the tens of thousands that are going to watch after this and your constituents why you oppose total transparency and unjust deactivations. That was the only thing that was in this bill. There was no benefits. There was no, minimum wage like it is in some other places. This bill was as clean as it gets. On top of that, and just to save the bill, within the last 24 hours, the sponsors of the bill took even the part out that says, forget the unjust deactivation part because we're dealing with passengers and this and that. Let's just leave just the transparency part whole. Take the other part out. They still voted no. What'd you both get? Free DoorDash delivery and free rideshare the rest of your lives? Is that what happened here? Is that what happened?
Something happened. Happened.
Listen, man, this broke my heart, bro. This was as clean as a bill as you can have. And if we cannot pass bills like this, how the effing hell we're going to pass bills that are more complicated with minimum wage, healthcare benefits, and shit like that?
Well, because
bullshit, I call this.
Because Prop 22 was basically made and sponsored by these companies, so that's why. Sellouts,
come to the show. I swear, I will be much nicer than this because right now I'm pretty emotional, and I feel bad for all the drivers in Colorado gig workers who, went to their constituents, talked to them, and had a proposal. And these two, I could understand these two voting against it if it was a Republican bill. You know what I'm saying? It's a freaking Democratic bill brought by three Democrat sponsors. And these two, by the way, they're on the Appropriations Committee. They voted down with another Republican, so the vote was 3-2. Because there were two Democrats voted yes. These two went along with another Republican. And this is, again, not political. They wouldn't even let the bill get out of appropriations, and it had nothing to do with appropriations. This bill only was going to add less than 10 cents per order, per trip, for drivers to not be unjustly deactivated, to go in front of an arbitrator and make their case. What is wrong with you people? Why are you such sellouts? Who bought you out? Come on, man.
Somebody did.
Yeah,
because they got a board seat waiting after they're out or something.
They got to them. You know what I'm saying?
So for sure.
Open. I tweeted this like a million times. Open invitation, sirs. With all due respect, I would like you to hear. I know it's in the past. Maybe next year you're going to say, explain to me why you voted this down as 5-2 votes.
Well, 3-2. I think maybe you should reach out to Stephanie.
I did. I spoke to her. They said there was so much lobbying power. And you know where the power was, Chris? Last week, ironically, we talked about, we made a video which became very popular, that how gig apps are fighting within the app. You know how they have the power. These gig apps have the power to send million notifications, push notifications within the app to the drivers and to the customers all at the same time. All scared tactics, right? Saying, oh, the fares are going to go up if you vote for this transparency bill. Well, the fares have been going up anyway because you want to be profitable. It has nothing to do with less than 10 cents tacked on a fee to protect driver right. Okay? So to me, and then they push it into the driver app saying, oh, you're going to lose your flexibility. You're going to lose your freedom. All this scare tactics bullshit. But guess what? I have news for you. It did not work in Illinois, did it, people? Next week, we're going to talk about that. You know what? It did not work. And it did not work. So, but yeah. So Mr. Priola and Mr. Malika, open invitation. Come on down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, you should probably talk to Stephanie to see if you could have her or somehow find out how to get in touch with these two to try to get them on here, or at least something.
I have their email address. I emailed them already.
Or we should have a follow up with Stephanie talking about what had happened and how these waters can really be navigated when you have such lobbying power like that.
Clean bill, like super clean, nothing sticky here. Why would you not want full transparency for your gig workers and some rights for anti-deactivation? Period. There was
because if I'm charging because if I'm only paying my driver $2.75 and you're paying $14.95.
Yeah, you don't want that known. You don't want that known, do you? You don't want that, right? No. Of course. Yeah.
No, you don't want that at all. Why do you think Uber and Lyft, when we look at some of the things that they say, is very lacking in transparency? Because they want to keep you in the dark. They want to keep the fog around you so you don't know exactly what's going on. And then when they need to clarify things and be very transparent, they are very transparent when it's in their favor to be, not when it's not in their favor. When it's not in their favor, they're going to be as cloudy can be. I mean, look at even the scare tactics. Oh, your rates are going to raise 10 cents. Come on.
Not even. It was less than 10 cents. It was less than 10 cents.
I'm saying even if it was the max of 10 cents and it was every ride, nobody's going to notice 10 cents difference. And then the ability for that to show you everything you need to know in terms of pay transparency and also, driver protections, at least in these events where there's false deactivations and things like that. Well, then you know what? Nobody's going to know 10 cents. It's not going to happen. I mean, how many times over the last 5 years have you taken, a similar ride that has gone up, every couple of months, it's a little bit higher. You wouldn't notice 10 cents. Come on. So
Yeah.
they're going to be like, and that's where they're very, lacking of transparency too, because rates are going to go up, and they're using scare tactics. They're trying to appeal to your emotional side instead of the reality of the situation, whereas you're not even going to notice it.
Well, that's another good reason to go to Denver for the gig conference. Invite these two clowns down there and let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like that'd be a good thing to do, But
I like what Nathaniel just said. He said Steve from
he
Regular
is.
Rodeo is going to
Yeah.
email and do certify. Nice.
Well, guess what? Because Steve is in Colorado, he's a citizen
Yep.
of Colorado, and you better answer your freaking constituents, you morons. Because I'm from California. I couldn't do much. I was like pushing, but I'm like, they're going to say, hey, you idiot, you're in California. What do you know about any of this? I'm like, okay, I got you. But you know what?
Yep.
Your own citizen is sending you some shit. Answer the guy. Okay, there you go. But yeah, I was pissed. I'm pissed, still pissed.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm hoping to see some other some of this other action.
Illinois,
kind of get that, like Illinois
got him.
Yeah, but I'm waiting to see what else is going to be happening too. So because there are other places that are looking at legislation, different bills, and things like that. So
right,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. One more. We're gonna talk about how Lyft is going in the right direction on something, and Uber is going in the wrong direction first. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna give away our money. So you still have some chance because we have plenty of people in here. We got 60 people entered into the giveaway. Hashtag money. All you gotta do, hashtag money in the chat.
You guys don't want free money?
You're entered. It's that simple.
These two senators took the free money. These two senators took the free money. Be just like them. Go take the money.
The two senators that are watching, they have 14 accounts that are submitted, so they got 28 entries out of the 60.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Trying to cook the books.
Unbelievable.
All right, but yeah, let's move on. And we talked about the bill, but let's talk about when Uber and Lyft are doing something a little different. Where again, Lyft is doing something right when it comes to things with drivers, and Uber not so much.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Lyft things. We like the good news first.
My nemesis Salim, if he's still here, is going to say, "Oh, you Zionist sellout." I'm like, what?
Oh, he actually gave you a couple of compliments earlier.
I don't pay attention to him now. I ignore him now.
No, he gave you a couple of compliments.
Well, he did. Okay, thanks, buddy. Thanks, much appreciated. Okay, so this showed up in my app. Okay, we talked about this last week. We had a screenshot. Lyft is getting rid of the switcheroo after 10 years.
I still haven't gotten in my app yet. Come on, Lyft. What are you waiting for?
Oh, this showed up in my app in LA.
Improving ride. It didn't show up in mine.
Not yet. Oh, it will. We're testing something new. Before ride switches were automatic. Yes, we know, David. Now you'll be able to choose if you'd like to make a switch or not. David, if this was your shit, you're my man. We're gonna make good things happen here. We may even take on Uber together. So this thumbs up to the moon for every driver that asked for this for the last 10 years. Sir, thank you, much appreciated. Now, the other day, I like Lyft scheduled trips because it puts me into the city with an LAX trip or whatever, because I'm in the suburbs. I don't want a dead mile there. I want to get there for, and get paid. Granted, it may not be too much, but it's money that you're going to get $1 a mile or whatever. You're going to get paid and be in the city and then work your ass off after that. All right, here we go. So I turned it on. On the old schedule rides, you had to go through it's like a counter, or like swipe up. All you see is $2, $3 orders and shit like that, right? By the time you find one, there is apps, by the way, that come in and swoop the good ones out anyway. All is left is garbage, which I'm not going to talk about that app, but everybody knows what they are. So now all the scheduled rides from where you are in those little dots. Now, the ones with check marks, as you guys can see, there is like a $10 one, $22 one, $24 one with a check mark. That means some driver already took it. It's reserved already. It's done. But then there are ones for 3s and 4s. Obviously, nobody's going to touch. Plus, as a passenger, why do you even schedule a ride if you're going a mile anyway? I mean, I don't get that. But long story short, they also changed the way the scheduled trips look. Another winner, thumbs up. Okay, I think this is more thumbs up I said about Lyft in the last 10 years put together. Okay. So switcheroo is gone. That's gone. Now, next week, I'm going to show you guys something else. But I'll just give a hint. It has something to do with streaks and streak zones and the total amounts to keep you in the game. Okay, that's it. That's the hint. And I'm sure some people have it on their apps. I have it. So I'm getting all these new things on my app. Since Richard showed up, I'm going like, holy shit, this is good. This is good. The area filter, amazing. I'm like, okay, so now
that was
drivers,
before him
stop.
though, but that was definitely like the first domino that fell.
Yeah. So to me, okay, I like everything about this. There's nothing not to like, so thumbs up. Next one.
Yeah.
This is what the good
That is
Uber
good.
Lyft is doing.
Then there's the bad that Uber's doing.
Okay, so I'm not going. We had one of these a couple of weeks ago, which I figured it was not real. This I got an email from a couple of people that are saying, "Serge, this is what they're doing." I'm going like, okay. First of all, I'm not. I'm a fan of Reddit and up.net and stuff like that, but look, half the stuff is in there as fluff, and there people are BSing and photoshopping, and you really have to be careful because on this show, we don't say stuff that is not factual, or we actually fact check before we just go out there and blurt it. So here you go. So can you take the Win 25 part out so I can read the whole thing? So I got this from a driver. You can see in the screenshot behind it. Now, on the right side is the comment. It goes, if you're not seeing this yet, I'm sure it's on the way. I'm going like, okay. They have essentially found a way to take away our power as independent contractors. Sir, you never had that anyway, but let's say they did, to select the profitable and safe rides. Chris, this may mean the end of CPU, Cherry Pickers United. This may mean that.
Nope.
This may mean the start of AFU, and Formica United. So
nope.
I am not liking this at all. If this is real, and I put it with really hesitancy, but once I got the screenshot on the left in my email, I'm thinking this may be freaking real. So if you guys are seeing this, please email me screenshots of this because this is a game breaker. Let me tell you, CPU is about to get dismantled. So it goes, if you do not accept 3 offers in a row, I get a very nice note from Uber saying, the latest Uber X requests don't seem to fit your preferences. So we're pausing them for a few minutes. To see more options in your area, you can check on the trip radar, and there's the screenshot. It says the latest. This is from Uber screenshot. Underneath, you guys can see the trip radar up there with 3 people watching. It says the latest Uber X requests don't seem to fit your preferences. Yeah, because they're garbage. So we're pausing them for a few minutes to see more options in your area. You can check them on trip radar. So what it's saying is that, we used to ghost shadow ban you for without telling you, which Chris figured out in Chicago this weekend. But now we're just going to tell you that we're not going to send you any more Uber X trips, ping you with it because you're not taking them. I'm like, sir, if they were good, I would take it, but they were all shit. So that's why I'm not taking it. But now they're saying, well, don't worry. We're not going to send you any more requests because you're messing up our algorithm, which is kind of admitting saying that if you decline garbage, they're going like, you're messing up with our algo. So don't decline. Okay. And it says, but we're going to send you we're going to refer you to our lounge, which is called the Trip Radar, where all trips go to die because they were rejected by 50 people anyway. So now, Chris, you have a choice. You can either reject couple 3, get kicked off, but not totally get kicked off the platform, but we're going to direct your attention to our wonderful Trip Radar, where there's a bunch more garbage sitting there. You can pick your choice from there. What do you think about this? Is this good or bad?
I think this is absolute dog shit. And I'm going to tell you right now, if Uber tries pulling this shit, I will severely limit my use on Uber, and I will champion Lyft to the fullest that I can in order to try to not deal with this, because the whole thing about upfront fares is that it is not on me to know that they're shitty rides. It's on you to fix your algorithm so that I don't have to deny rides over and over and over again. My acceptance rate, I would love to see at 100%, because that means you're offering me rides that I'm willing to take, that I'm willing to spend, or not spend, but I'm willing to spend my time on because it's worth my time. That's the whole thing. I want to know my time is worth. And if you're going to give me crap offers, I am not going to take them. And then you're going to try to put me into timeout for not accepting 3 of your crap offers in a row? You're kidding. So here's one thing where I have a feeling this is going to backfire in their face if they actually pull this shit off. First off, all the cherry pickers out there, you go and you decline 3 rides. Just go on the app, even if you're not willing to drive. Go on. Don't let 3 ride or don't accept 3 rides. Go in this timeout and just clog up their systems. Because if you're on the system and not accepting rides, that means they're not going to offer you those rides. If they're going 15 minutes, that's 15 minutes that you're not going to get rides unless it's Trip Radar. But that's going to screw up their systems because all these drivers are online, but nobody's taking anything because they're all in fake timeout. So this is where I could say this is an easy thing to fix because you could just say, I don't really care. Do this when you're not going to take rides either. Do this when you're at work or you're at home or whatever. Just let your phone go, and who gives a shit? Because that'll just go with their system. That'll screw up their systems. So if they want to pull that crap, then let them. But here's the thing. Look, as upfront earnings came out and they said, well, it's on us to make sure that the rides are priced right. Well, clearly your rides are not priced right. Why are drivers continuously declining lowball offers and crappy rides? Because you are not doing your part as what you said multiple times. DK said it in multiple interviews. Andrew said it in 1 or 2 interviews. And it's been brought up many a time where they said, if rides are not being accepted, that's on us as Uber, not as you and me as drivers. Hell no, that's not the case. So why should drivers be punished for your freaking bullshit? Not going to happen.
Yeah,
Well, I will find any way to fight that aspect of it. 100%. I mean, there's a lot of things, but that I was thinking, like, how can you get that where this can be stopped dead in its tracks? And that's exactly what it would be. If you clog up their systems, because if there's 100 drivers online and 70 of them are cherry pickers, that means only 30 are actually accepting rides. That means that their systems are clogged up, and now their wait times for riders are going to get longer because they're not giving all those rides to the drivers that are online. So I say let them do it that way.
Yeah.
If they do that, their wait times are just going to increase more because if you're just going to throw them into Trip Radar, go for it.
Yeah.
So you can play that game, bro.
Funny person 251. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see the question. Have you guys noticed Uber? Yes, 100% agree. Reservations were like at least minimum $2 to $2.30 a mile in LA in my area anyway. Now they're down to like $1.40 to $1.65. I agree with you 100%. The reservation numbers are going down. And Joe Driver, sorry guys, can you put that up? Joe Driver, I can get you deactivated tomorrow. Don't mess with me. So, sorry guys, but you're venting, and not only does Uber not give a crap what you and any driver thinks, they're not listening to you. What do you think, Chris? You think they're listening or no?
Oh, they're listening. Trust me, they're listening, and we know. Whether they're going to do something about that, no. But here's the thing: they're going to definitely have to do something in the event that drivers just say, "Go ahead with your stupid crap." Because if you're going to do that, I'll sit in timeout. I don't care. I'll turn on Lyft. I'll turn on any other platform I have. I'll still stay on Uber, but I'm not going to accept it. So wait times continue to creep up. Passengers are going to get pissed off. They're going to complain. And then Uber's back at the drawing board saying, "Oh, we fucked up. We didn't do it right. And now we got to give you those rides back. We're not going to put you in timeout." So this is something I can easily see that drivers could potentially win and take on Uber when it came to it, especially for those that are cherry pickers out there and continuing to cherry pick. So I don't care if Uber is watching and listening or paying attention, but if they were smart, they wouldn't be rolling this out, because this is something, again, where drivers can go in the driver's seat and actually win this one.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, when we'll finish with that, he goes, then I get sent to Trip Radar. Okay, complete a trip with Trip Radar or wait a few minutes to resume receiving requests directly again. I only get Trip Radar requests for about 15 minutes, so that means the shadow ban is 15 minutes. Then they start sending me pings again, and then if I don't accept 3, and then they send me back the trip radar. I'm like, okay, you knock yourselves out. The other thing is I want to give a shout out to Ken Z, my man here in Chicago. He's working on something with me. Ken Z, I love that topic. We're gonna keep working on it. So yeah, if this is showing up in your neighborhood, people, please send me screenshots, because this is okay. This actually fits my Tetris puzzle that I'm building. So I need this. I need like real, like whole bunch of these. Okay. Or you know what I need actually, people? I need a screen recording of the whole action happening. You decline 3, Uber goes, pops that up, says, "Oh, sorry, let me direct you to our trip radar lounge for garbage." And then, you can fish there a little bit. You're not going to catch anything there, but in case. And then we'll put you back into the real contest. I'm like, please send me, because there's legal issues with that. Just send me a screen record. I don't have it. They didn't do it to me. They probably won't because of Prop 22. I need a screen recording.
Either way, this is the whole thing. Is this to me seems like it's a scare tactic, because Kenzie pointed out perfectly. Taking drivers offline is counterproductive, and that just goes to the same thing with exactly what I'm saying. If you take drivers off and they're not able to get the ping requests coming in, and they would take those rides, that means your riders are going to wait longer. And if they have to wait longer, then they're going to go onto the other platforms. So you know what? Maybe that's a smart thing to do. You just let Lyft take those rides that normally wouldn't, because your driver is now sitting there waiting, and he's right around the corner. And like I said, I think this is something that Lyft would, or I'm sorry, Uber would be stupid if they actually truly rolled that out.
Hence multi-apping, right? If Uber does it, you go Uber up your, and then I go do Lyft. So
they want to be stupid, then go for it.
Okay, how do you send? No, I'm not interested in that, Jacob. I'm interested in this exact thing that we just showed. Okay, anyway, but let's go.
And money. Just one last thing. Yeah, we're gonna do the money in just one moment. Hashtag money for your last little people that have not come in to enter that. Just enter hashtag money in the live chat. We're going to be doing the giveaway in just a moment. But the last thing I want to say when it comes to the timeouts is we may, actually, let me go back. We had that article that we covered with Vina talking about how there's the wage discrimination, and you and I went out. We had our two brother comparison. You went out in LA and had a phone comparison with drivers where we were able to see actual rides coming in at different prices for the exact same ride, and the driver is sitting in the exact same spot because the phone is literally right next to each other. I did that same exact test on both the Uber and Lyft platform. We are going to be talking about that hopefully next week. But there were some interesting things that came about from it. And this is one of the interesting things is it was going crazy. It was going wild when it came to Uber. And then all of a sudden, there was like a 5-minute downtime for all phones. No ride requests, no trip radar, nothing. And this happened, it was 2 or 3 times. I don't remember exactly. It was definitely 2, though, where this had happened. And all the phones went quiet almost the same time. And then they started picking up a little bit. It was a little bit at different times, but it was definitely phased out, and then it was phased back in. If those weren't timeouts and like proof of actual timeouts, I don't know what else it would have been. Because to have all of these ride requests coming in, all these trip radars coming in, and just going back to back to back on multiple phones, and then all of a sudden nothing. I find that very peculiar that just no rides were coming in that particular time frame.
Well, Uber says they don't do it. Uber says they don't do it.
They don't do it. They say they don't do it, but when we go over everything, we'll show you. We'll talk about that. I'm going to do some more research in like how many rides were given, requests were sent out to the particular drivers. See if there's any correlation there. If it was like 10 rides, 14 trip radars, and then all of a sudden there was like none. I'm going to look at that and actually break it down. So there's a lot of things that we got to go through and hit. But
look who's here. Look who's here. Look who's here. After absence of I don't know how many weeks. WeZoom is here. WeZoom must have been sick.
What's up?
What's up, Zoom?
All
So
right, hold
yeah,
on. Let me.
you know what? That'll be actually a separate good video that you should do. Within the same content you have, like how they shut you down, shadow banned you, or whatever they did. I think that's illegal. But anyway,
I don't know. Maybe.
yeah.
I mean, again, it's kind of stupid on their part. But I mean, I understand like if you're like letting all these rides going and you're not accepting it, I can understand the hey, are you still online? That I have no problem with. That makes sense. But to not let somebody not drive, especially when it comes to like 3 and you have to wait 15 minutes or give a trip radar, it's just stupid. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we'll play that game all day long. I'm fine with that. We'll play that game, Uber. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got hashtag money. We got 84 entries, so you got a pretty good
Ooh.
chance.
Well,
Let's do it. We got to get the
do
music
it.
though.
Okay, next week, you promise we have music to start and music for this.
RC, you are the winner. Congratulations. Yes, I will get something going so we can have music in the background.
RC.
Congratulations, RC.
You know, RC
had
got his
a
money
one.
back, actually. I think RC contributed. It was a super chat. I think he got his money back. Good for you.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
All right, RC, email me, Sergio@therideshareguide.com. We will send you your $25 tomorrow morning, probably. If our virtual assistant in Philippines is awake, then, you know, we'll do it. So.
Well, should be. Either way, we are going to give away one more amount of money. Again, this is for the live chat only. So anybody who's listening, this is not for post live. This is for the live show. And we are going to be doing this again for the next couple of weeks, at least for sure. Guaranteed we know it's happening. So over the next couple of weeks, just make sure you hit the live if you'd like to win some money. But this is not for post live or anything like that.
It's only him.
Just make sure.
We Zoom. He was in Chicago. He couldn't do it. It's honest. We Zoom says some suspense would be nice. Yeah, like drum roll, something.
You know what I love is the wheel that goes around, and it goes around and around and around, and then all of a sudden it starts getting slower and slower, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's my name right there, and you're like, son of who's RC? The one? It's not me. But no, congratulations, RC.
Joe
all right,
Driver.
so again,
is Joe Driver Salim now? Did they switch hats? Because this
I don't know.
This podcast should be.
I think we touched on a.
We're not men. We're mouse. We're whiny mouses. Which is what we are. So you know.
All right. Well, either way, we are going to give away some more money. So hit hashtag SMTMC in the chat.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure I set that up so it can capture. There we go. All right. Hashtag SMTMC.
What do we have going next?
The next topic. Ooh, it's a good one. The new Uber Quest model.
Yeah, I'm doing an article on this. I'm gonna tell you
I
guys.
have the normal rides.
I like this actually. To be honest with you,
you know, I'm on the fence right now. I like it to a point.
Yeah, sorry.
What's up?
No, they're putting uppercase, lowercase, please.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this.
I mean, literally, you see the banner down below if you're watching. Literally, copy what it says.
Yeah.
If it says hashtag SMTMC lowercase, do it all lowercase. If it's upper, you know, yeah, at that point. But
you don't like
to the Quest though.
You don't like?
No, I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like I see good aspects of it, but I also see like I don't know. It seems like a drawback because a lot of the times what I see is the money just seems like it's so low, like an extra $20.
I know why they're doing it.
Oh, okay.
Exactly, and I'm going to tell you how to beat this, guys. Because this is first of all, as a member,
this is money in the bank, guys.
President of the CPU, Cherry Pickers United. This is perfect for CPU guys. Okay. Because now we don't have to deal with the throttling on the last 4 out of the 40 or 50 that we have to do. Now we just got to go with the flow. We cherry pick the shit out of it, and then we get as close to the $800. Look, in LA, I can average about 14 to 17 on Uber X trip. Okay. So to get to, let's say, the top level, I have to do 50 trips. Trust me, 50 for 210 was not happening before. So I figured this out. I go, this is good for CPU members. So this is for eats and rides. Okay. You got to read the small print in this. Obviously, cancellations, everything is the same as the old Uber's, Quest, like 40 for 80 or something like that, right? Then you guys knew automatically that you were going to get $2 extra per trip. On this one, you got to look at more as a percentage, right? So if you look at the top Quest here, this is by dollars only. Tips do not count towards this, people. So it's there in the small print.
And ride share, but tips do
in ride share, yes. And tips up to $8 because delivery is such a messed up situation. The base fare is so low. Tips up to $8 count towards this quest. This is a dollar quest, not individual trip quest. Now you can do one trip for $830 if you're lucky and get the 210 extra. So I look at it as a percentage wise. So on the top one, let's say, this is from Joe, by the way, our good old contributor in Minnesota. Minnesota seems like they get the stuff first. I like this.
Yeah, they definitely do.
And 830 quest goal. So on top of the 830, you're going to get 210. That's like 25% more. And you can get the 830 by just cherry picking all week, slow and steady.
On this, it looks good. But here's the thing. You get what, 70 plus 10 or 50 plus 10 or 20 or 30 plus 20 or whatever the trip, whatever your choice was. But here's the thing, if you waited to the end and you got throttled down, or it seemed like it was throttled down, it may not necessarily be that. It's just everybody out there, trying to compete for the same exact thing. And there's only so many rides that are coming in. So, some of the P's that we talk about is position and planning. You need to plan and not wait until Sunday night in order to try to complete your quest, because all the other drivers are out there doing the exact same thing. So you want to drive when other drivers aren't in order to complete the quest. Not only that, you have more drivers doing that, and there's not as many rides because Sunday nights usually aren't as busy compared to like Friday, Saturday, and then same thing on the weekdays when you got those.
Listen to the man. He's preaching correctly. He's correct. So.
But either way, position and planning is just getting out there and making sure you'll get your quests. But for those who believe that you're only going to make so many rides and then they're going to throttle you down, well, they may. I mean, there's no real proof. But again, when you look at supply and demand and you look at the trips coming in versus the drivers on the road, especially on a Sunday night, there's definitely some discrepancies there. So yeah, it might feel like throttling, even though in actuality, it's just that there's a lot of riders who are not getting rides.
Let me explain to you guys why I think this is good for AFU members. Okay. And also good for CPU members. AFU members, look, even on the Lyft app, they give you like a weekly goal anyway. They make you work towards that dollar number. This almost seems like it, right, Chris? So if you're an AFU member, you have a dollar goal anyway. So work towards that 830, you get an extra 210. On the other side, for the CPU members, just mess around, cherry pick all you want, do 40, 20, or 30, $28 trips, and then you get your extra 210. So to me, this is like, I like this. Now, I know why they did it. Okay. What trips you think, Chris, are not getting picked up as much as before after upfront fares? What type of trips?
Long trips.
Yeah, that's what they want you to do to get to that 830. They want you to do that 40-mile or $40 70-mile trip, because they're going to okay, maybe they'll pick it up faster because they think they're going to reach the dollar goal faster. Do not do that. Continue declining those trips. Continue.
Yeah, because essentially with this rate rebalancing, if you take these long trips, that 210, if there's that 830 quest goal with that 210, if you hit that 830 quest goal,
stop.
The amount that you got rebalanced is going to be a wash anyways, because you took those long trips. So
you know what?
Be smart out there.
No, but you know what? This may entice some people to take those long trips that they're declining now, because look, there were a lot of people who are making a good living doing long trips out of airports and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, So this one may, bring you back to equilibrium. But my game plan for this, if I see this in my app, I'm hoping to God that I do, is going to be, morning rush hour, cherry pick, surge chips, bang, bang, bang. Afternoon rush hour, and a little bit on the weekend, $20, $30 surge chips if it shows up. I'm like, hey, that way it's quality over quantity. The existing quest is all about quantity. You want to do 40 for $80 more dollars, or you want to do 80 on the weekend for $200. It's all about quantity. Now, there's a strategy for that. Knock out shorties, use your DFs correctly, all that crap. Hopefully, everybody knows what I'm saying. On this one, though, this is beautiful for a CPU member. I'll just, sit and look a little YouTube. Oh, look, there's a $30 trip. That's 8 miles. I'm like, yep, send it. I'll take it. And then if I can get to the 830, and if I'm 100 short, then maybe you'll just do some quantity to get to the 210 extra bucks. I like it. I think this is awesome. So let's see Joe do this a couple times, and then hopefully it'll show up nationwide. There you go.
Yeah. Well, either way, this is something that, like I say, I'm on the fence with. I still think that there should be no quests, and it should just be built into the price of a ride. So if you give a ride, you should already have that money there. It shouldn't be this cat and mouse game that they're playing that you need to give so many rides, or you need to make so much in money in order to collect on these bonuses. It should already be built in per trip, at least in my opinion. The only other thing too is I was going to crack a joke earlier about the you're essentially setting your limit. So for those who think you throttle at a certain point, like if you had to give 70 rides and you're made 68, you're still waiting for those final two and it took 4 hours. Well, maybe you hit that $715 quest goal and you start hitting that $17, but then they only start giving you shorties or like, low paying ones. And it seems like, oh, you're not going to make it or something like that. So yeah, this is definitely something where you're probably going to have to take a few long rides in order to try to achieve it. Maybe something you might not want to take, as long as the juice is worth the squeeze, as long as it makes financial sense. Just again, make sure you're paying attention to the numbers of everything that's going on, break them down, know exactly what's going on before, so you're not going in and just blindly accepting and saying, oh, it gets me closer to that goal, because yeah, sometimes it could manipulate you a little bit. So that's kind of why I'm on the fence. I do see the positives, but I also see some negatives along with this. But what do you guys think? Do you like this setup better, or do you like the other way? Or would you just like to go back to something like getting actually paid for the ride without having to pay or play some stupid game?
Yeah, or the Seattle model.
The Seattle model. Yeah, I like the Seattle model.
Yeah, Seattle model.
Just give me that. I'm okay.
Yeah. So Joe, I gotta give shout out to Joe Negrao, my man in Chicago, top 1% driver for sure, and smart as a whip, and can get his shit together in a jiffy. Joe, we're gonna work together probably next month. He sends me some nuggets, bro. That guy's so good. He should be a journalist, actually, Joe. Joe's my man. All right, so yeah, Seattle. Yeah, all that we all want Seattle. But then you look, we're in Colorado because of these two sellouts. Tony, what do you think? Were these people sellouts, Tony? He's in Colorado. We couldn't pass a clean bill that had nothing to do with anything, literally. I mean, and we couldn't pass that. How are we going to pass Seattle all over the country? That's what I was thinking, actually. I got discouraged when they shot that bill down. How are we going to do Seattle around the nation? I'm like, I don't know. We need to come together, people. We need to come together, man. We need to create a database, Chris. We need to create a database of all gig workers around the country. Because you know why Uber and Lyft and DoorDash say? You know why they don't release that information? They call each gig worker a trade secret. They go, we cannot release that information. It's a trade secret because then our competitors can take advantage of it. I'm going like, what kind of bullshit is that? Since when have I become a trade secret? Look at me. Do I look like a trade secret to you people? So to me, I'm like, it's bullshit. Of course, they skirt the law. That's what we should do. We should create a national database. Right. Yeah, exactly, Tony. Piece of, whatever. Anyway, all right, next one.
All right. Well, let's move on and talk about, some people have been saying this for a while, where could Uber support actually be running some scams. You know what? My initial thoughts, and let's see if this changes. Are no, Uber support is not, because everything is tracked inside. And if there was anything that was going against it, there could be some potential issues there when it comes to, well, a lot of things. So it is very tracked. I'm going to say that. But on the other side, some of the places that these people are working at could potentially be notorious scam call centers down the road, or doing certain things during the day, and at night they're not, and they're doing shady, or they're using certain fronts in order to conduct shady business. It happens, unfortunately. So it's just being smart on the information that you're giving and providing. But when it comes down to it, I don't think Uber support necessarily is in on scams in any way. And when it comes to certain support scams, like the Uber support scam not being Uber support, but somebody claiming that they're from Uber support and you won money or whatever. Again, these people are going to alert you multiple ways. They're going to send an email to you, they're going to send a text, and they're going to send an in-app notification. If you're getting a text or a phone call from somebody and it says this is from your passenger, do not give out information, when they actually play that at the beginning of a call. That should be a dead giveaway that says this is not support. But again, it's also followed up by these in-app notifications and emails that nobody else would have that information. So if it's only coming in a call, that that's not an inside job. Some of these other things, again, it seems like it might not, it seems like it might be, but in actuality, it's not. And there's some real reason on why. So we'll talk about that. But let's get into this email that somebody had sent us and talk about these why this person thinks that Uber driver scams could be inside jobs.
Right. I mean, this gentleman actually was featured on an actual scam that took place. And the one that they says they call like after a milestone trip, like 2,500, 4,000, whatever. And he believed him. He gave him his info, and he got taken for it. And then we actually highlighted this gentleman before, and this time he was like, this was last week. He goes, "Hi Sergio, you and Chris stated Uber doesn't call you for any reason, but that's inaccurate." I'm like, okay, I'm all ears now, because we said that and we stand by it, that Uber does not, unless they change some policy somewhere, that they're doing it now, because I literally have never gotten a call from Uber. But anyway, he goes, "It's inaccurate. I just received this notification from Uber and a voicemail on my phone asking if everything is fine." I'm going like, well, that sounds like a scam to me. This might be a scam or not, but I believe those scams to transfer over your earnings to Uber Pro debit cards are inside jobs. I'm just putting it up, and then you guys have your own opinions. We inform, educate, and this is the information part. You can develop your own opinions about this. These Uber support teams overseas know our trips and milestones. Do you actually think a rider is going to know all this information right away, and the next day know your phone number, call you and try to transfer your earnings to an Uber debit card? I appreciate you posting it on SMTMC podcast last time, and I was truly scammed. I'm like, yeah, he was scammed, and then somebody took his money. And then this is the message he got from Uber. And I have the voicemail coming from Uber support. And I'm going like, I don't know. I mean, is there some inside stuff going on? The other thing is, I don't put it behind them, because, support is all over the world with Uber. I mean, there may be some people at Uber support selling your info to some scammers. I have no idea. I'm not saying that, Uber. I know you are, Alex. I'm not saying that. I'm just pointing something out. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is the second time this guy, but this time he was like smart. He was like, no, I'm not even going to pick up the phone. I'm not even going to attempt it to pick up the phone. I'm not going to respond to anything, because last time he got taken for like a few $100. So I don't know. I mean, What do you guys think?
All right. Well,
two-step verification. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, I call scammers and waste their time and have a lot of fun doing it, because the stuff that we can get them to do or say or anything like that, it's a lot of fun to really screw with them, because they're so focused and hyper focused on trying to get the money that they don't have any freaking idea what's going on. And you wonder, how are they that stupid? It's because they're so hyper-focused. So one of the things is that I have to do is step back and kind of look at everything. So let me break this one down for you. First off, this is actually going around 2 drivers right now. I was in Chicago, and a driver that I was with actually showed me this exact same, or well, something very similar to this.
Okay.
And basically, Uber support did reach out to them, trying to call them. And this was a driver who was doing many, many rides a week, and then changed their whole way of doing Uber, and they have dropped the amount of rides that they're doing and taking much less. So this is something where, again, we were talking about how Lyft had sent this to you, Sergio, when it came to support, because you didn't drive for quite a while. So this looks like this is actually just something that both Uber and Lyft are kind of doing. There's certain key points that they may try to flag drivers on. Not only that, Uber is pushing for a ton of drivers. I don't know if you've seen their latest marketing ploys when it comes to sending out videos and these 30-second videos for new drivers. But they are pushing hard for drivers. Whether this is all connected is probably true. But yes, Uber has been reaching out to drivers. And yes, scammers, when it comes to these support scammers, they know how many rides you have. So they will actually look at that information because it shows on your little report there. It shows how many rides you've given and all that. It gives very little information that you should probably actually look at and become familiar with what's on there. But when it comes to Uber support, when it actually is from @uber.com, that's a tall tale sign that it is coming straight from Uber itself, not from anything else or somebody else. Yes, you need to look at where it's coming from, the email itself. So if it says Uber support or uber.support@gmail.com, that's a scam. That's not real because that's not actually coming from Uber. You always want to look at uber.com because that's their thing. At Lyft.com, at DoorDash.com. Any company, it's got to be at thatcompany.com because that's their whole thing. If it says anything but that at Gmail, at Verizon, at Hotmail, at AOL, whatever, at grtzcs.cz, not real. So again, that's one thing to do. But yes, actually, this has been happening. They have been trying to contact drivers, so we are going to say that. When it comes to the Uber Pro and the debit card, that could just be something that support is trying to push drivers to get into. That's not nefarious in any way. You just need to know the fine print when it comes to the Uber Pro debit card, if you even want that. If you don't want it, just say, no, I don't want it. Thanks very much. Have a great day. What's the worst that's going to happen? You hang up the phone after saying no? That's it. But if they're going to try to get you into the Uber Pro debit card or order the Uber Pro debit card, well, be very, very paying attention to that fine print. Whether you think it's worth it or not, you already have a bank, probably, hopefully. If you do, just continue doing it that way. There's no real bonus or anything I see when it comes to the Uber Pro debit card, but this could be something that Uber could potentially be trying to be pushing its support staff to try to push to drivers to try to get them on the Uber Pro debit card for whatever goal or reason that they want to do, where it's not necessarily nefarious or trying to steal drivers' monies or anything like that. This is something where you just gotta say no. And if they're pushy about it, that's usually another telltale sign that it could be a potential scam. If they're saying, okay, we just wanted to see, we just wanted to check, if they're real cool about it, after you say no, if they still continue pushing or if they somewhat threaten you, that's an issue. And that's where it's again, likely a scam. Or if you're actually talking to Uber support at that point, I would hang up the phone and then call back Uber support again and say, look, the person I was just talking to, they were really pushing hard on this, check into this. And then they can actually see, was that truly from Uber? Who was it? All of that information. So you could really figure that out when it comes down to it.
Well, we take, but I mean, now we have to take it back because we said multiple times on the show, even Uber pushed messages saying that Uber will never call you, right? So this goes against all that. This goes against all that. So now it makes it more confusing for a driver, let's say an immigrant who doesn't speak well English or scared, he wants to lose job or whatever. this kind of makes it more difficult for the driver now to decide, is this a scam or is this not a scam, or is it really interested in my well-being or whatever. So I don't know. I mean,
The
I put it up
the
just
easiest
to
thing to
say
do
that.
is the easiest thing to do is not answer your phone and let these emails or in-app notifications come through.
Yeah.
And you don't have to answer your phone. Hey, they don't want to answer their phone. You don't have to answer your phone. It's a two-way street that way.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, you always got to stay vigilant on things. Now, I don't think this is in any way a particular scam. I think he's just hyper vigilant because it happened to him. And rightfully so. You should be paying attention to that. But yes, Uber has been calling. They will call. I've had Uber call me when it came to a safety issue. And that was basically when somebody was getting in my face and I made a report. They called me within like literally 2 minutes of me filing the report to Uber. So that I know that they will call you in certain circumstances. Now it does appear that they are trying to call drivers for certain things. One other thing when it comes to them getting your phone number, because somebody did highlight something in here, it says, do you actually think a rider is going to know all this information right away? Some of it, yes, they will. And the next day they could know your phone number by a couple of ways. And this is something that you really need to pay attention to. First off, they can get your phone number by dialing your number. And then if you have a voicemail that says, hi, you have reached number, whatever your phone number is, now they can write down your phone number and they have your phone number. So that is something to change immediately if that's how your voicemail is set up. You could have it, hey, you've reached Sergio. I'm not here right now. Call me or leave a message and I'll call you back. Whatever it is, like, don't have your number playing, because the reason why that they mask the number is for both driver and rider protection. But on the flip side, a passenger could say they left something in your car and could potentially get your number that way. So yeah, they can get your number through that means, but that means that it was a rider who already came in your car. And yeah, they could be scam artists. They could have gotten in your car. They could have been the nicest people you know. They could have been fishing for some information. Some people are very, very well at doing that. And then the last piece of information that they needed was a phone number. And they said, hey, Uber support. Yeah, I left something in the car, I think. And I was wondering if I could reach out to that driver. Sometimes they'll give that number out. So just be careful when it comes to that. The whole thing, though, is when it comes to the Uber Pro debit card, truly read the fine print on it. If you don't want to do something, or if you feel like you're being coerced into something, just say no. If for any reason they're pushing it more or getting nasty or anything like that, hang up the call and report it to Uber or something like that. See what's going on. Do your due diligence that way. But when it comes to true Uber support, when it comes to true Lyft support, when it comes to any support whatsoever, they're going to maybe ask you the question, do you want the Uber Pro card, or do you want the Lyft debit card, or whatever it might be? If you say no, 99% of the time, they're going to drop it and say, okay, we just want to check. If you have any reconsiderations on that, you can always reach back out to Uber support or Lyft support or whatever it might be. And then, for real, that's support, because that's usually how they always end some sort of call, is if you want to change your mind, you can, but they're not pushing about it or anything like that.
Yeah, so that's good advice. Now that we know they're calling, I mean, look, man, make your own decision. I will not talk to anybody that when Uber calls, period. No ifs, no buts about it. If I need you, I'll call you. Don't call me. That's it. That's my attitude when it comes to that. So
exactly. All right, let's move on from this. Let's talk about this new patent to pre-match riders and drivers using AI.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
Artificial intelligence.
This is fascinating. It's happening. I'm sure everybody in the chat, including myself, my kids, maybe not my wife yet, we all have used ChatGPT. I'm using ChatGPT 4.0 now. It blows my mind what it does. And that's a baby, a year-old, that knows more than any human on the planet at the moment. That's the way I look at it. But during the latest earnings call, Uber said this, okay? They're going to depend heavily on AI in the future for chat support, just like, and make support feel a lot more human. And I'm sure AI will learn. Machine learning is very heavy in Uber's books. And they said, we're going to now do that in pre-matching riders and drivers using AI. I think they're doing this to a certain degree with rider and driver tendencies anyway. But now they're going, we're going to use AI. We're going to make it a lot more smooth, supposedly. So Uber recently filed for a patent application for a system that would leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning to match potential riders and drivers based on predictions of customers' tendencies. Aha. Haven't we been saying that for a long time, Chris? That everybody has a tiny little file on Uber AWS server as a driver and a passenger, and we all know their tendencies, what drivers accept, what riders are willing to pay for a trip. They all know that. Now they're going to refine that some more, and it's going to become scary. Ride-hailing giant Uber is seeking to patent system that forecasts, customers' potential ride requests by feeding context data contained in Uber user profiles. Algorithmic wage discrimination, anybody? Such as usage history or location data into a machine learned model that uses AI to find patterns and users' habits. I mean, haven't we been saying this for like months now? Now they're just saying, yeah, we're going to do it through AI. I'm like, okay. The model then determines
I think
whether
they've
the
already
user
been
should.
implementing it. They're just
Yeah, I've been
tweaking it.
doing it anyway. It's going to get smarter though. The model is then determines whether the user should be considered for a pre-request matching by which a driver can relocate to an optimal location to reduce wait times. I'm like, I get it. I'm all for it. But they've been doing this, and it's just going to get better. They're saying by applying to these patents. So, Mr. Risher, are you watching what Uber is working on? Now you're working on not putting a passenger with a tuna sandwich in the car. Look what these guys are working on. I mean, we got to get going here. Okay, what I'm saying. So, but it says, while the tech would enable efficiency for Uber drivers and make it more, better for riders to get where they want to go, it also underscores the vast amount of data companies have access to and how AI processes make it easier than ever to process that data. Yes, they do. And potentially exploit without sufficient safeguards.
Now that's your wage discrimination.
That's your, I call it AWD, algorithmic wage discrimination. So there you go.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I actually kind of want to dive into the patent and see what they filed, just to see if we can kind of gather any information when it comes to what it might be doing and stuff like that. So if we have the ability to break that down a little bit, if there's some big information or anything like that, we'll let you guys know. So stay tuned for that. But either way, it's just going to probably make it something that they've already been doing. They're just trying to patent it so other companies may not be able to do something. So, or have to reach out to them in order to use that information.
Yeah, future is scary, man. There you go. Welcome to the future.
A little bit.
Yeah, but that's it.
All right, our next story.
Global story.
An angry Greek taxi drivers overturn and smash Uber cars for offering cheaper rides. Whew.
Yeah, off the book ride.
Imagine if that happened around here.
Yeah, Uber, what do you call it? They're Uber pirates, pirate cars.
RT Uber driver.
So, I mean, you don't want to mess with Greeks. Look what they did to those cars, bro. They put them on their roof. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, they rolled them over.
Because look, in Europe, Uber, they cannot behave like they behave here, like a wild child. They have like all regulations and stuff happening because the cab industry is a lot stronger in Europe, And of course, the political weather is a little different in Europe than it is in the US. In the US, like we noticed with those two politicians in Colorado, you can buy a politician pretty cheaply in the US. But here in Europe, you can't. And, they have regulations they have to stick by. So if, let's say, in Greece, a driver is taking a trip to from the airport to a hotel where it says right there, for 20 euros, and then the Uber rate is 36, and this guy's doing it for 20. Uber guys are sitting, all these pirate guys with fake Uber logos on their cars. They're like zipping in and out of airport, picking people up and doing it on a discount. That happens in the US. I'm not going to say no. It happens with a lot of drivers doing, so-called private trips. Please be careful with that stuff. Okay, it happens. But yeah, I mean, they're pissed off. And because taxis are getting hurt by Uber to start with anyway. And I mean, Uber is there to disrupt taxis and well-established system. And you know, these people are not taking it lightly. It looks like on a sunny day in Rhodes Island, Greece. I've been there. It's a beautiful island. A group of taxi owners and drivers channeled their inner hulks and wreaked havoc in a parking lot, overturning and smashing Uber cars like they were toys. There you go. You know, you play with people's livelihood. This is what happens. Prior to the incident, 3 Uber drivers had been arrested by police for violating traffic laws and offering cheaper than permitted rides to the island's airport, while taxi drivers organized a rally against Uber's presence in Rhodes. Well, this is what happens. This is when you break the law in Greece and you get your car overturned. Here, you break the law, and not much happens. So there you go.
You may get a fine for taking cash rides or something.
Yeah, cash rides. Yeah, nothing happens. And lastly, Chris is working on that video talking about breaking laws. We didn't break any laws. I was at LAX with RDU and SEIU. I'm not a union member, don't worry. But they were doing a crawl. If anybody knows LAX, it's a loop. It's like I call it the death loop. It's like the Roach Motel. You can get in, but you can't get out, kind of a situation at LAX. And we did a crawl about 200 or 250 cars, you know, on their horns. And LAX came to a standstill. I have video of that. Chris is working on it. We're going to put it up. I was mighty proud in being in. I hitched a ride with one of the RDU members in the car, and it was freaking awesome. You know, there were some pissed off passengers at LAX that day. Let me tell you that. And
oh, I bet.
Yeah, one guy yelled at me. You know, and you hear it on the video. The guy's like going by in an Uber. He goes, "You shouldn't be doing this here." You know, I'm looking at him like I go, "Make sure you tip your driver, okay?" He was like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, he's probably late for his trip or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. But yeah, so
well, you know,
don't mess around with Greek taxi drivers. There you go.
Yeah, and not only that, don't mess around with people with their time. So that person that was pretty bad because they were trying to get somewhere and you guys were blocking.
You should have left earlier, sir.
Yeah, the Chicago protest, I wasn't there because it was Thursday. But the one in Chicago, I think they said that was like 150 people there. So it was pretty interesting to see how many drivers had actually shown up. So nice out there, guys.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, and not only that, one of the things that we like to highlight here is these fake names. So Uber, again, 6 months ago, you came on and said that fake names would be no longer a thing. How does this make sense? We have I am not R. Kelly. Dear God, that would be canceled. And then we have Thor. Well, that
Thor,
one I don't mind.
Thor. Somebody, some mother, father could have named their child Thor, I guess. And the government goes, there is your ID, whatever. But the other one?
But
really, Uber? I mean, really? It's like a sentence. It's not even a name. It says, I'm not R. Kelly. It's the guy's like Uber avatar or whatever the heck it is. I'm going like, really, man? Seriously.
All I know is I hope Thor had the hammer. That's all I got to say. But yeah, here's some more fake names. So if you got some fake names that you see throughout the week, send them our way. Hit them up to Sergio at Sergio@therideshareguy.com. Send them so we can actually continue saying, look at all these fake names that we're coming across.
You know what Joe Driver said? You know, they're not listening to you. He may have a point right here. I mean, this has been going on for 6 months.
True.
You know,
true.
I mean,
very true.
It's touche, Joe Driver. There you go. Because we've been putting 2 a week. I have like a whole list. We've been putting up 2 a week, every week, week after week. And still, this is here. So I'm like, okay, we'll just keep doing it until.
Well, yeah, Tony just said he worked with a Thor at UPS. So, I mean, Thor could potentially be a real name for somebody. It definitely is one of those that let's make sure it's verified. So you might want to flag that. As any of these should be flagged, especially if you're getting these ones. Definitely flag them every single time. And let's see if they actually do anything about it. But still continuing to get a bunch through. So I don't know if they really are or not.
I don't think, I think, by just having that thing on the app, they say flagging, by one by drivers. I think they're just going,
Mhm.
they're going to fall out if they keep flagging anyway. But the point is, after I flag one of these, what happens? You know what I'm saying? Does it even mean anything
Yeah,
if I
exactly.
flag this on the app? Is it like, what's happening
Well,
after I
that's what I'm
flag it?
saying. Yeah. I mean, the best you could do is a good faith effort to try to get these names adjusted or not. But the
Right.
question is, are they doing something? So we'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
the whole thing is like I don't have a problem with nicknames. I really don't. The only thing is there should be
Uh,
some sort of ID that's tied to them. So you have if you want to have some weird name, by all means, fine. I don't care. But make sure your ID is uploaded so in the event something bad happens,
yeah.
they know exactly where to go and who to get hold of
Yeah.
without real any problems. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's my opinion, at least.
How do you?
If somebody likes being called a nickname, then you know it
Yeah.
is what it is because there are nicknames out there. So I'm not gonna say certain things, but saying I am not R. Kelly,
Yeah.
um, yeah, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
Or Killa or something like that. Yeah, there's some that should still not be,
Yeah.
but certain
Okay.
ones like beyond that don't really
There are
matter.
two good comments there. FYF Life says, how do you flag them? It's in the app. So once you have that trip and decline it or even do it, you go to the specific trip, click on it, and then, there's a drop down menu that says, I have a problem with this trip or whatever. And then if you click that, it drops a sub menu. It says, it doesn't say fake name, or it just says something else to the fact that this is not an actual
I had a
person or
problem
whatever.
with the rider.
Yeah,
Yes, I had a problem with my rider, and then underneath that, it'll have the part where it's like
yeah.
for the name itself.
Yeah, and then Tony says something really cool, actually. Bro, it doesn't mean anything because you flag a minor and you get a request immediately from them after canceling. I agree, 100%. These two
Hmm.
situations need to get fixed. Mr. Risher, if you can fix this too
100%.
while you're at it, I mean, this is bad. I agree 100%. You know what I'm saying? So, Jeff, you missed your part about the 475. We'll see how many people did not get the money. Um, you know, but we'll
Well,
see.
either way, we got one more thing we're going to talk about before we do our giveaway. So
Money, money,
again,
money,
we got 51
money.
entries in for the hashtag SMTMC.
Yes,
Make
I'm saying.
sure you put in hashtag SMTMC in order to even try to get your entry in. And you could be the winner of another $25 card. So
Yeah.
you can only enter once. I know somebody was entering a bunch of times. All you're going to do is probably get kicked. So just enter once. You're not. Who knows? Maybe they're going to take a look at it and say, "Oh, you've entered too many times. Now we're going to limit the amount, so it could actually knock it down." Who knows? But yeah, it only measures it once. So um,
All
just
right.
a note there. But we got another story.
Yeah, this was
You know what?
you want to do this
The
one?
first, honestly, so this is the story where a woman stuck on the roof wants to call Uber Eats for help, and she gets stuck on the roof. You go up on the roof. You know how like sometimes you might not have a door handle to reopen, so you got to
Yeah.
keep the door open in order. Otherwise, you're screwed and you're stuck up there. The first time I heard this, I'm like, "What is she stupid? Why would you call Uber Eats?" And then actually, like hearing the story a little bit more, it actually
Yeah.
kind of made sense. Like
Yeah.
she called Uber Eats because it would have been quicker for her to get out of that situation. So, I at first I'm like, what the hell's wrong with her? And then I'm like, I give her props because that's
Smart.
that's smart thinking. Because you could call the police, they may not get there for hours. You could
Not
call the
gonna show up.
super, they may not get there for hours. You
Yeah.
could call a neighbor or something if you know anybody in your building,
Yeah.
and they might not be home.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Uber Eats or the DoorDash driver is probably 34 minutes, 30, 40 minutes away
Yeah.
max,
Right.
and they're coming up to you. So hey, that was pretty resourceful, actually. I thought after
Yeah.
I really read the story. So
And she had a
yeah.
broken foot. She had a broken leg or foot or something. She was like, she's handicapped. Not mentally, obviously. She's smart on that one. But, it
Mhm.
looks like a nice summer day. She's wearing a tank top. She goes, let me just go up on the roof. Those doors that lock behind you, that just, you're screwed. You immediately know when the door closes, you're screwed. And then she goes, well, let me see how I'm going to get out of here. She probably did try her friend or this and that. They may not be coming from work. Like Chris said, fire department will not show up for this one for hours, nor the cops. So they goes, well, I'm hungry anyway. She goes, let me order my burrito, and my savior, the Uber driver, will bring it all the way up to the roof, open the door, and then the text to pictures you guys can see. there's the Uber driver right there opening the door. And she called it my king. And there she is with the crutches in the background. She's munching on her burrito right there. So smart.
I like how above how above the picture it says with this 200 IQ move. And you know what? That's honestly that. Like I said, when I first saw this, I'm like, "Are you got to be freaking kidding me?"
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, why would you're stuck? And honestly, it was like there was a woman who actually called 911 because she got locked inside her car, and the car was starting to get hot because the car was dead. The battery was dead. And so the car was starting to get hot and the windows wouldn't open. So she called the police to try to get them out. And the person on the phone said, "Did you try unlocking and opening the door?" And she's like, "Oh, hold on. Let me try." So she actually like fumbles around for like a minute or so. And then you're hearing it fumble. And she's like, "Oh, oh, it worked. I got out. I'm out. I'm okay. Thank you." And it's like, what? But yeah, I mean, when it came to this,
Stupid of the Year award, but when you feel like
no, when it comes to this story, it was like, wow,
no,
that
it's
was
brilliant.
after hearing the story, I'm like, that was a good move right there. That was smart.
Okay,
And
everybody's asking you, dirty people on the chat, did she give a tip? I don't know. I hope she did.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know. Ask Jay if he got the tip.
ask Jay if he asked the driver to show her the tongue or whatever. We don't know. We don't know if she tipped. I hope she tipped. I'm pretty sure she tipped because she looks like a very reasonable young lady. Good to look at. I mean, hey, Uber, it was a win-win-win situation. Half hour later, you got your burrito, you're eating, you're saved, you're off the roof, you're on your couch. Hey, win-win-win situation. Once in a while, these things happen. Now, I'm not sure that qualifies her for 200 IQ, okay? But, quick, smart thinking on your feet,
Well, the sad thing is, in this day and age, it could potentially be a 200 IQ because, some common sense out there is not so common. So that is an issue.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, that's it.
Hopefully, I mean, everybody here watching has some common sense because you're watching the show, or at least you're trying to get some. Just messing with you guys. We love you. Trust us. But we love you so much. We're going to give you some money.
That's right.
We like to. So with that being said, the hashtag SMTMC that you guys have been doing for a little bit. We got 56 entries right now. Let's see who is the winner. Mandy, you are our winner. Congratulations. Make sure you hit up Sergio at the rideshareguy.com. Congratulations, Mandy. You are the winner of $25.
One word, Sergio at therideshareguy.com. Okay. No spaces, no nothing else. You get your $25 sent out to you if you email me today, if not tomorrow. Yeah, we're done. Now again, there's my fuck, I can never figure this out, Chris. How do you
what?
Oh, right here. There's my man with the medal in his mouth. Kudos to my son's team. Actually, they beat the 4th rated team in the nation in their age group. That team was an academy team. They were down 2-1, came back to win 3-2. I was nuts, gone, lost voice, lost everything. Hugging, killing, kissing, wet. It was awesome. It was the best and amazing thing. So actually, you know what? Whoever's in the chat, listen, folks. Mandy, you're welcome. I'm going to be in Temecula, close to San Diego, close to Oceanside, for a huge tournament called Manchester City. That's the team in England. They run a tournament every year here. Only invited teams go. My son's team is going to be in there playing. I'm going to be around Temecula area, San Diego maybe. I can drive that far, but games are in Temecula. But if you guys want to meet me, I'll let you guys know where I'm at. We can come hang out because games are only, I think, 3 games in 2 days. So I have a whole bunch of free time. We can go eat, drink, do whatever you guys want to do, just like Chris did in Chicago. to kill. I'll send my son with his team, and then I'll come hang out with you guys after the games, of course, not during the games. So yeah, whoever's in Temecula, San Diego area, you can come visit me or I can come visit you. We can get together, eat, shoot the shit, and meet you guys. So there you go. This is at the end. It's on Labor. Is it Labor Day? Yeah, whatever the holiday is coming up. Labor Day weekend, I think.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Sorry, Memorial Day weekend. I'm gonna be in that area.
Oh, we don't want Labor Day yet. That's in September. We need our summer.
Okay, Temecula. There you go, Sergio, Scott, Wengel. If you're down there, come meet me. No, I'm actually looking for a place to stay because the hotels, because of the tournament, there's like 20,000 people showing up to this thing. Even Motel 6 is like $200 a night. I'm going like, holy
Jeez.
shit. Yeah, bro.
Damn.
They screw you. Come in, they screw you going that way. But anyway,
that's like plane tickets. We were looking up plane tickets to fly into Chicago, and it's like $300 a person. I'm like, there's no effing way. I'd just drive there. It's an 8-hour drive. We left at 4 a.m, got there at 11. It was good. It was fun. We had a great time. Met some drivers. I was learning a little bit about the Chicago area. Definitely learned about the issues when it comes to Lyft, and if they want to succeed, that's what they got to do. They got to get passengers back, and they got to try to get more market share when it comes to it. If they do the right thing with drivers, you're going to have plenty of drivers, and they're going to be happy. But you got to get the riders on the platform and to choose you. And if Uber wants to do that little 3 strike and you're out policy when it comes to not accepting their crappy low-wall offers, well then, hey, that might come back and bite them in the ass. So go for it. Try it. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I really don't. I hope it doesn't. But like I said, I think it's going to actually make it worse for riders, and they may jump ship to Lyft. So who knows? Maybe it might help Lyft out.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope that's not true, really, because that will like ruin the CPU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was a great Tuesday night. We showed you some money. Hopefully you show yourselves some money as well, too, out there on the road, making that money. We have quite a bit coming up to you guys next week. Hopefully we'll have that video, the comparison between the Uber rides, the Lyft rides.
Hold on.
This whole algorithm.
Sorry.
What's up?
Sorry, Chris. Hold on. HWin 1216. Let me know if you need help. Email me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. Please. Did we just get frozen? God dang it.
I didn't get frozen.
I got frozen again.
You got frozen. Yep. I can still hear you, though.
All right. Finish the show. I'm logging out. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Well, it was great seeing you guys. Great hanging out again Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. You can catch us live. You can also see the replay, or you can check us on podcast form as well on all major podcasting platforms like Spotify, iTunes, and all of the others. So if you want to go that route, you can. You can definitely play us in the background while you're giving some rides or food deliveries or anything like that. So then passengers can understand what drivers have to go through. But with that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, good rest of your week. Remember, tomorrow is Money Hungry with Kim and Zach, so check them out. That is at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Also, make sure to check out all of our awesome other great content right here on the Rideshare Guy. And make sure you hit the like button. All right, we'll see you guys next week.